Ah, why did it not stay? There we go. I didn't want to be biggened. Hello, can the world hear me? I've been quietly doing the crossword over here and sipping my coffee. My mother is getting her coffee, but I figured I should probably hop in here and say something. Let me get rid of that guy. Should I put me in the corner? Is that? Oh, but then I get covered by my name in the pre-show rambles. Can you see me down here? Can you see me? Hello? I'm hiding. Okay, I'm done with that bit. I've been trying to work on this crossword. Oh my goodness. Someone keeps checking the answers and revealing how wrong I am about stuff. Unless, oh wait, are the no red is somebody else's color? Sorry, I have the colors turned on, so I thought when it highlighted red that it was incorrect. At least I think. Yeah, yeah, we should be good. I'm still trying to get used to. Okay, yeah, I had my colors turned on too, so I thought that it I thought that I would see it immediately, and then all of a sudden a big pop of red showed up. So maybe everyone has to turn on their individual colors. I don't know. Ooh, I know this one. Dua Lipa. Answers that I definitely know. Let's see. And am I reading correctly in that like 4 or 5 of the questions you changed to red? Okay, change your color. Sweet. I want to change my color. I want to be orange. How do I become orange? Also, touching shrew? How do I change my name?
You just click on it where it says you are, and it lets you change your name. It puts a cursor there,
Uh,
and you just backspace out what they have and change it.
Not on my cellular.
Are you guys fencing?
Fencing. What is going on? I tapped things by accident. I just want to change my color.
Fencing is, from what I understand, fencing is where um, we're all working the puzzle on our own grid to see who can get it done the fastest.
Oh no, I want to work
So it's
together.
so it's like a race. Well, since two people are fencing, I don't know why I'm seeing that, but
I don't either.
mm,
I'm starting to think maybe this site doesn't want to be on my cellular. Let me desktop site. Let's do that. Maybe I can. Okay,
part
it
of
looks so
HRH.
much better on the desktop site. There we go. Now I can change my name.
Okay, so three down should be his. Who put mad across there? I can't see this very
And
well.
I'm orange. There we go. And now I just gotta turn the colors on, and everything is as it should be.
Okay.
I may have put mad. What was 3 across? Yeah, I think maybe my things were misaligned because I thought I was answering. Because what's the one that I thought I was answering?
Well,
Uh,
three down, I think should be his because HRH is His Royal Highness.
I was looking at 13 across, so it should be anger, which I thought was correct.
Yeah, that is 13 across, but I don't
Oh,
I
okay.
don't see I don't see how HRH is going to fit in. I don't know.
I don't either.
Did
Also,
I
What are these circles?
I think it's part of the theme, something with picnic.
Yeah, because a lot of the questions are like one way to ruin a picnic, and I'm like, there are a lot of ways to ruin a picnic. Apparently.
Let's see. Where's 15 across? Lucy.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to spell it. 15 across is Lucy Lou, but I can't remember how she spells her name. Is
It's
it
like Liu?
Is it Lui?
It's either L. I think it's Liu. Is it not?
Okay. Let's backspace that out. IU. Let's try that.
I am just going to pull it up on my computer.
4.
Because everything seems to be easier on my computer.
7, Parisian pronoun. Okay, so that's French. So what would be a pronoun in French? Would that be IL maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the pronouns are in French.
Oh no. Now I'm panicking. Yeah, I think it's IL or ELLE for him and her. He and she. I don't speak French anymore. French, who is she?
I'll put an I right there just in case. Does the doctor's duty. Scoundrel.
Okay. I'm reading it up on my computer, and then yeah, Ronald was like, "There's so many pronouns in French." I was like, "That's why." That's why I was like, "Am I thinking of the right things?"
I'm thinking that we should have probably stuck with hovercats.
Hovercats is baby crosswords. We're in the big leagues now. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like it better on the computer. French article. Turkish fruit.
Okay. We should
So
probably get this show on the road.
Oh yeah, probably. Well, this will be going on in the background.
I'm thinking maybe I should have chosen one of the other puzzles like the LA Times or the New York Times or something like that. Also, I have trouble seeing this site. It is very light.
Yeah. Did they have a dark mode and I just missed it?
No, I think last week I put on my...
you did the reverse E thing. You set it to Wumbo.
But then that messes with all of my tabs.
With everything, yeah.
And I don't want to mess with all my tabs.
I just want dark mode. I need to like shift my computer monitor, but then you guys will be looking at my ceiling. Okay. So I'm going to minimize. So
yeah, I enhanced the cast, and that helps some.
I'm going to.
It's still very small.
Okay. So I have so many of these. This is the one that I need. So in our Google Keep, I'm going to make a space for the crossword link. That way, because if we put it scrolling across the bottom, these links aren't as simple as the Hovercat link, so it's not as easy to type in. So I'm going to make a space for it in the Google Keep, and if anybody asks for the link, then we can just copy and paste it, and then they can click on it.
Okay.
Housekeeping. How's everyone like the new pre-show music? I was just looking at music earlier.
I think it's jazzy.
Right?
Very jazzy.
I tried to get like a kind of busy, like walking across New York Street. Oh my goodness, I got to get to my job, but I'm a woman, so I have to be a secretary kind of music. And then when we're talking, we're just the background sound. So it's so chill. And then whenever we're leaving, it's the rock because you got to get ready for your day. It tells a story.
You're so weird. You're so weird.
Okay. So I've got the crossword link in our doodad. I'm going to change the banner. Where is our crossword banner? I'm going to change the banner to join our crossword in the background. Ask, request the link.
Okay, that's not.
So how do we feel about this?
What are you talking about?
The scroll on the bottom. I changed it to join the crossword in the background. Request the link.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So we've got that taken care of, which we can put that up later. I'm gonna switch all our banners back so we can get ready for, starting and everything. What's this? We're gonna put our big faces back up here. Also, before we start, this is gonna be all you people who show up early. You're getting just an extra little slice of something. I was just getting ready this morning. I had a bunch of stuff to do. Oh my goodness. Please go back to StreamYard. I was getting ready this morning. I had a bunch of stuff to do. And then I was trying to get the StreamYard stuff up. And I was listening to YouTube. I was looking for something to listen to YouTube in the background. And this pops up. How do I be that? I want to be that. How do I be that? Also, the playlist is pretty legit. It's pretty good. It's hang on, let me see if I can go back to wherever that playlist is.
Let me guess. Is this African lo-fi?
It's not. It is absolutely not. Where's my streaming? It is. There's the playlist.
Like I can see that.
What's
the name? What's the name of the video?
The playlist is called "The Playlist Finds You" Part 2, which this playlist did find me. I did not search it. It
the
came up in my
playlist finds you. I have never
Part
seen
2.
Such a thing.
This is part 2. I haven't even listened to part 1, but the track list: "This Bitter Earth" by Aretha Franklin, "Blues for Mama" by Nina Simone, "Married to the Blues" by Shemekia Copeland, "I'd Rather Go Blind" by Etta James, "Hound Dog" by Big Mama Thornton, "Take 5 Live" by Dave Brubeck.
That's Take 5. That's Take 5 Live by Dave Brubeck.
Okay, yeah, I did not know. I didn't make it that far in the playlist. But it's a nice little bop of a playlist, but also I want to be that.
Why does the playlist not find me? Is what I want to know. I listen to music on YouTube all the time. The playlist should find me.
I don't know.
That has never come up in my algorithm.
I don't know. You're just not in the right spaces. Ronald said, speaking of which, the Bandle is from the 60s today. And did you do the Bandle today?
Does that mean we need to start the Bandle? We need to do. I think it worked well when you did the Bandle through your.
We're gonna do the Bandle live. We're gonna do live Bandle.
Let's do the Bandle live.
And then we are gonna actually start the show.
We should start the show and then do the Bandle.
Okay. Let's let me get rid of my aspirational lady. What do you mean what?
Oh, you were frozen.
I shouldn't be frozen. It's probably because I'm trying to stream this lady.
You were frozen just staring at me and I'm going, what? No,
it's because I was trying to stream my aspirational lady and
turn the lady off.
I have too many.
Like the lady, you have to turn the lady off.
I have too many tabs. Stop sharing.
You see my coffee in the background? You see it?
I do see your coffee in the background. It's got a nice little swirl.
Yep.
Okay.
I tried to angle the laptop just right so that I could see the coffee.
Ronald is giving a little correction in the chat. I never froze. It was you. Again.
Of course, it's always me. Always me.
Ooh, and Ronald says he has an update for his crochet. Let me get the Instagram up so we can get started. Oh my goodness. Instagram. Because I definitely still know how to spell. Yeah, today is going to be...
we do need to discuss. We do need...
Go ahead.
Today's going to be what?
Oh, I came into today full chaos mode. I got woken up earlier than I was supposed to. I had to leave my house before the stream. We are going in full chaos mode today.
Oh, no.
Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I give me 2 seconds to enter this raffle to win a free tattoo.
Oh, Lord mercy.
A free tattoo.
You don't need another tattoo. And hurry up and get Instagram up so I can go ahead and do the...
I'll enter it later. I know who it is. It's my henna mentor. She is giving away free tattoos once a month to promote her business. So I might throw it up on the screen.
Let me know when you're ready, ma'am.
I'm working on it. COFFEEKLATSCH. I have to focus every time I say it.
It's so nice to know how to spell.
69. Okay. Audience, public. Next. We have to do at least 420 of these so I can haha nice at the 420.
Very funny.
Okay. Copy the stream key. Instagram stream key. Save changes. Wait for the preview. Wait for
my yogurt down.
Wait for the preview. Okay, preview is up. So we're going to go live in 3, 2, click.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday morning coffee Klatsch. Welcome to our Instagram friends, and welcome belatedly to our YouTube friends who have been here for about 15 minutes. But
for anyone who doesn't know, we chit chat about a lot of stuff before the show starts. So if you want to catch all that, go to the YouTube.
But anyway, for those of you who are new here, we are the Coffee Klatsch. We are your morning accompaniment. We just chat about everything and nothing. We are what I like to call your audio ambiance, your background sound. We keep you company while you do laundry, while you take care of your children, while you're doing that boring data entry, while you are climbing aboard the transport to Hydor to escape that manager who got you pregnant and is now trying to take your baby away from you.
The drama. The drama.
We're here to keep you company during
Does
all of
she
that.
get away?
Well, she gets on the transport. She's on Hydor.
But he's
looking for her.
Concerned.
The problem is we don't want you to worry. We know that your mother is still back on Earth and the man is looking for her. And she can't get on another transport for another 6 months because the deal between Earth and Hydor is that they can only send a transport once every 6 months.
Wild.
So, but we have contacts on Earth who will keep her safe from the man until she can get on a transport.
Ronald says, laundry used to be so boring, but today I listened while putting laundry in the dryer. Finally, entertainment. Thanks, hashtag background sound. That feels like a sponsored post, Ronald. Now Ronald getting sponsored by us.
My laundry days used to be so boring, but then I found the Coffee Klatsch.
Thanks, background sound. It's so good.
Thanks, Ronald.
It's so good.
So we talk about, as I said, we're new. If you're new here, we talk about yarn and everything else. We start off with yarn just because that's what most of my subscribers are here for. However, this morning we are going to start off with the bandle to see if we can figure it out. Games are usually our Friday thing, but Ronald has tempted us to try the bandle today because of today's song. If you've never played bandle, it's where you try to, it's basically name that tune in six. You have six chances to name it, where they bring in instrumentation slowly. Like usually they start with the drums and then maybe bring in some strings, and maybe by the time you get down to the sixth clue, they're just giving you like a word that is like a synonym of the title for you to try to guess the title. While she's bringing up the bandle, I am having coffee with French vanilla creamer and a yogurt. I don't know what Artemis said. We didn't even introduce ourselves. I am Dani.
Breaking up.
I am
I'm
Dani.
Artemis. Can you hear me?
You didn't get into round 6? Oh, wow. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can. I just want to make sure, because I'm now streaming a screen, so I figured that Spectrum was, coming from my throat.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start off with the drums. Let's see what we got. No clue.
Pink Panther thing?
It's just this for a while, huh?
Apparently. I know this is wrong, but type in Pink Panther theme because that's what I thought first, since you don't have a guess.
Okay, I will try it.
If Pink it's Panther even close, it will bring it up for those who have never played this before.
Nope.
That was wrong?
Yeah, just type in a word and it'll...
But it was on the list, though?
Was Pink Panther says you would think so, wouldn't you? It was on the list, yeah.
Okay. Oh, he also gets Henry Mancini, so I wasn't alone in that thought.
So now we're on to the bass. I still got nothing.
See, this sounds familiar. This sounds very familiar, but I cannot name it from this.
Do you have even a wild guess, or am I just skipping to the next one?
Nope, I don't even have a wild guess, so you can skip.
Yeah, Ronald said he recognized it from here, but couldn't figure out the title until 6. All right, piano and guitar.
It does sound familiar. Can't name it.
Mm-hmm. I'm hopping back and forth to the... Oh! My internet is so angry about this. But I don't have you. All I can think about is the fact that this sounds like it should be part of the Pajama Sam soundtrack.
That is your reference for all jazz, Pajama Sam?
It is. It is. The Pajama Sam soundtrack is a staple. It's a jazz staple. It's so nice. I'm skipping next. We're getting the French horn. Ooh. All right. We're on the French horn. Everybody ready?
Okay. We are ready.
This added nothing.
Really? I can't name this. I'm embarrassed that Ronald's gonna get this and I'm not.
I mean, he said he didn't figure it out till 6. So if we figure it out on the next one, we beat Ronald. Our measure of how well we do things, did
I
we
don't
beat
think we're
Ronald or
gonna
not?
figure it out on the next one.
I mean, I know
I
I'm
don't
not.
think I'm gonna get it.
Here we go. Let me check the
Voice
Instagram, see if
cover,
anybody's got any guesses.
1964, Very Hard.
All right, here we go. Fly me to the moon! Oh, I'm furious. I'm
Oh,
furious.
oh yeah. You're right. They type it in.
I just don't listen
That
to
is
the
definitely Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah, that was not at all recognizable till they got to the voice part.
Nope.
Oh my
Even with the
goodness.
voice part, I was still like, man, this could be part of the Pajama Sam soundtrack.
You're so weird.
All
I'm getting
right, let
tangled
me.
here. So we
Where is
did the
my mouse?
bandle.
Okay.
Yes, take yourself out of that because your computer did not like that.
Oh no, it hates it. But I think we're gonna do this every week from now on, and my computer's just gonna hate it every time.
Oh, I'm tangled.
That's why you need a yarn winder.
Oh hush.
It
No, I'm
makes things
tangled
so nice.
in my
Did you wrap it around your chair? You out here doing some Home Alone traps over here?
no,
Oh, silence? Is that just me? Ronald, do you hear both of us? I cannot hear your words. You were you silent or were you silenced? Was that meme still relevant? Yeah, Ronald says he only hears me. Something became unplugged, mother. While she is working on that, I'm just gonna throw this up. Nope, wrong one. This one. There we go. Don't mind us, professionals over here. Um, Ronald says he thinks you unplugged the headset. Did you unplug your headset? We can't hear you. Oh, she says she can hear us though. Look at me, my expert lip reading. Nope, lip reading skills gone. Lip reading skills have depleted. I mean, you could always leave and come back. Maybe it's that thing again because that happened one time. Fly me to the moon.
unmute.
Hey, now I can hear you. There we go. How did you mute yourself?
I don't know because I could still. You kept saying I unplugged my thing, but I could still hear you through the headphones. So clearly, I was still plugged in. But somehow the mute button got hit. I don't. I don't know. But get off of that button because it's still highlighted. Go away. Okay.
Yeah, get out of there. Now that we're done being professionals, let's talk about yarny thoughts.
Okay.
Hello, your brother is in the Instagram chat saying he loves you.
Hello. 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 Oh God. One thing I have discovered. I don't know if it's part of being a woman of a certain age
Mm-hmm.
or being a woman of a certain size or I don't know. But this didn't used to happen. But now when I get like flustered about something, like I got tangled in my thing and I was embarrassed about being tangled while we were on the camera and all of a sudden it made me start to sweat and get hot. And that didn't used to happen before. I would get embarrassed, but I wouldn't get hot when I got embarrassed. And now I get hot when I get embarrassed.
Isn't getting sweaty because you're embarrassed like a trope? Isn't that a thing?
But it
That
never
isn't it?
happened to me.
Oh.
I mean, I think it happens to some people. It never happened to me.
Well, while
And
you're
I'm
cooling
mad because
down,
I had all my fans and everything worked out, and I was happy that it's not terribly hot today. Into this room, both rooms can kind of cool off, but now I'm embarrassed and I'm all hot.
Well, while you're cooling down, we can go over the crochet stuff. I was frustrated because I feel like I've been doing a bunch of stuff. So before we do the crochet stuff, I want to show you I made, and by made I mean I found a template and then just filled out the template. But I finally have an inventory thing to keep track of my inventory because I was just kind of doing it in my head. But now I made a list of everything that I know how to crochet, things that I know that I've sold before that didn't just like sit on the table forever. So I have, let me pull it up because I'm very proud of how this looks and it's like helping me like narrow down what I need to work on. Share my screen.
Well, you do need, I mean, since you're doing this as your business, you do need to start using these organizational tools.
Yeah, I was just kind of going on fly. But so I have the list of the things I know how to make, where the pattern is, because that was another issue that I was having of like, oh, I need to make a chicken. Where is my chicken pattern? Or, oh, I need to make some jellyfish. Where is my jellyfish pattern? So I have where the pattern is, the name of it, where I am keeping it. So some of the things like I have a couple things in stock and they're in the office, as opposed to like out in the storage in the car downstairs. And then I have how many I have in stock versus how many I want to have for my next big upcoming market. And then I have the prices so I don't like keep changing the prices in my head because I'm like, oh, this didn't take too long versus, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. So I've got this going on. I've been working on some stuff. It doesn't look like I have a lot of stuff because I also am very frustrated because I'm going to take this off screen before it starts screaming at me. But I am very frustrated because I feel like I've been working on a lot of stuff, but then I look at my inventory and I'm not able to fill out a bunch of things. I'm like, why does it look at my inventory so empty when I like feel like I've been working on a bunch of stuff? It's because I started a bunch of amigurumis and started a bunch of things and then have not finished any of those things. So I have like, so you know all of those. Let me get my thing. Oh, I can fill one out. Let me go fill the one out that I just finished yesterday. That I now have one and I only need one, so I'm good. So remember, I was making all of those bees. I can't mark them as in stock because they have no wings and no eyeballs. So I have like 9 bees or 7 bees or something with no wings and no eyeballs, so I can't mark them as complete. No but wings I have some of exactly. They're just little pills.
Ronald figured out the first way to ruin a picnic: mud.
I stopped looking at that crossword. I was not going to be able to focus on anything. Ooh, is Spectrum coming for you? Do we have a delay?
No, I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine.
Okay, you were delayed from what I was saying, but yeah. So, but I did get some of the eyes onto the bees. I just haven't got their wings on yet. But I had to because I made all the bees and forgot to do the safety eyes. So I'm having to do embroidered eyes on all of them, and I am like improving, I think, the way that I do my embroidered eyes. I like how these look. I feel like they look fairly solid. They look a little different between each one. Like if I grab another one, they'll look a little different.
So it gives them personality.
Yeah. But I like them and they feel pretty solid. I don't have to worry about these ones falling out because I have she's my best customer. She really is. She buys something from me basically every week at the Wednesday market. But she has figured out a way to pull an eye out of 2 of the stuffies that she's got for me. So I have to replace the eye on this guy. But she had her name's Fiona. She had a chicken and the chicken's eye fell out. And so we had a big back and forth of, oh, we'll bring you the chicken, and then they forgot the chicken, and then like, oh, we'll bring you the chicken, and then I wasn't there, and back and forth. So they eventually got me the chicken. I replaced the chicken's eye. She bought one of the booty shrooms, and then like 2 weeks later, I want to say, brought it back, and it's like, so his eye fell out, and I'm like, how did the eyes keep falling out of his face? Because I have not had, other than her, I have not had anybody come back saying, "Oh, the eyes fallen
Dang.
out." Like no one's contacted me, and she's had two of them. I have no idea how it
Oh
happened, so
no.
I've got to replace
Figure
her
out a
little
better
mushroom eye.
You need to figure out a better way to put those eyes in, because like they say, if one person complains about something, there's 10 other people who also had it happen and just didn't bother to tell you.
The thing is, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do because I can either just embroider the eyes on everything, but that takes a while, and also we
Mhm.
know that I hate sewing. And it feels
Mhm.
like I was saying with the bees, even with these bees, I just did a bunch of these, and they all ended up with the eyes kind of in different places, and so it feels not super
But it
accurate.
but it get but it gives them personality if their eyes look different.
Yeah, I might just start embroidering the eyes on everything. The problem is that just takes extra time, whereas
Or at
popping on
least
safety eye,
or at least
I'm
look and see if there's a different something different you should be doing with your safety eyes. Maybe people are adding a dab of glue or something to them, or
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've got fabric glue, so I was thinking maybe I could just put some fabric glue whenever I go to close it up, and that'll help lock it in place. So we'll figure it out. But in the meantime, all of these things don't have safety eyes because I forgot. So I have to embroider them. But I did finish. I finished Big B. Look at that.
oh, Big B.
I
Are those
finished
safety
Big.
eyes or embroidered
Those
eyes?
are embroidered.
Oh my goodness, they look good.
Thank you. I hate it. I don't know why. They're so like I wanted them to be more round and they just ended up so like not round. And I feel
But
like
they
they
look
look okay.
good. They
They're
look good
okay. They're just
though.
not what I expected and I kind of hate it. Also, just the act of sewing, it takes so long because the thing that took so long was one, I was trying to make sure that I got them lined up correctly, and I still ended up a little off because if you look at where the wings are, I still ended up a
Mhm.
little off of where the wings are, and then trying to get them to trying to get them to the right size, like and so they're the same size as each other, and then getting all the yarn to lay where I wanted to. It's just a hassle. It's a hassle, but it happened. It's a thing. It's been made. It will sell. I also made some squid guys, and these guys have safety eyes, but I was making them at work, so I didn't have my glue on me. But I made some squid guys at work.
Are those no so?
Yeah, these are no so.
Okay. I was just wondering because I was watching Passionate Kelsey and she did like a octopus or something
Mm-hmm.
very similar to that, and it was no so. And I said, I wonder if that's a similar pattern to what you do, because they look just like that, except the legs hang down
Yeah, you can
instead
make
of
them
the.
with the longer legs. I just don't like that look as much, and it takes me just a little bit longer. And people buy them like this, so I just make them with the little shorty legs.
Mm. Cool, 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 cool,
Yeah,
cool.
Ronald was saying the same thing. These was the pattern that I use has the option for short legs or long legs. I just do the short legs because with the short legs, I can knock one of these out in like 45 minutes, as opposed to with the long legs, it just adds a little bit extra time.
Cool.
But so I've got all those little guys, and then I made a gator. I love this
Oh,
alligator pattern.
adorable.
It's so cute.
How many of those have you made so far?
Um, in this go round, this is the first one that I have in my little inventory stash. But altogether, this is the third one that I've made total.
Oh, okay.
This is the third one
Yeah,
that I've ever made.
those are cute.
It's just cute, and I love how their little snoot is just like it goes up a little bit. I'm debating on it because I've been going back and forth for a little while about if I want to add little nostrils, but that's just extra sewing, and we all know how I feel about that. Um, but speaking of sewing,
Uh huh.
I made a hat.
Oh, cute.
And it's got
Cute.
little
I like the ears.
Yeah,
on the
it's got little
ears.
fox ears.
It makes me think of Your Inspirations just sent me a well, not just me, but in their one of their publicity, their one of
No,
their
they sent
PR
it
emails.
directly to you.
One of their PR emails was they send lookbooks in their PR emails all the time, and the lookbook they sent out this time was a K-pop lookbook,
Hmm. Oh yeah, I could see this being
and
a K-pop thing.
so it's basically just Asian models wearing the stuff that they already have been trying to show
You're
me.
Korean K-pop. It is K-pop now.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like bucket hats and Granny Smith scarves and that Granny Smith bag that you make out of the Granny All in One
Hmm.
thing. Yeah, all of that stuff, except it's Asian women modeling it
Except now it's
because
K-pop.
we just finished with AAPI month, so they
Hmm.
just threw some Asian people in there. Which fine. I just don't know how that makes that K-pop, but maybe I don't watch enough K-pop videos to know that maybe the Korean
Maybe the K-pop people are
girlies
wearing that stuff.
are wearing crochet all over the place. I don't think so, but maybe they are and I just missed it. I mean, when was the last time we watched a Korean drama?
It's been a while. It's been
It's
a
been a
while.
minute. You were in
But I'm
college.
I'm so happy with
But
how
yes,
that turned
I
out.
like that. That's really cute. I bet that will sell quickly
It
because
fits
that's
a
really
lot.
cute.
Yeah, it fits a lot better when I don't have my headphones on under here. But it took me a while to get the placement of the ears, but I'm pretty
Hmm.
happy with how I did it. And then I'm gonna hold it up to the camera because I actually used a slicker brush to brush it so the ears are fuzzy.
Hmm. It's fuzzy, yeah. Red
So
Heart makes some yarn like that where they've already
they've
brushed
already
it or whatever. They've already fuzzed it up for you.
yeah, but then I can't use my Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripe, which is what this one
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
because I it is so well named because I love using it for everything. It's such a good rainbow stripe color.
Yeah, it is a good bright if you want something really bright and the stripes line up nicely on that heart. Yes, that's
Red Heart Super
Ronald
Saver
asked.
favorite stripe. I've got it
Yeah.
beside me, I think.
So technically it's not variegated, I think, because variegated is shorter
Oh
color
god,
runs
what have I done? Okay.
from my understanding.
Yeah, this
So
has the
this is
long
considered,
stripes.
yeah, it's got long color runs,
Where is it?
color changes.
Super Saver jumbo stripes even.
Yeah, I every time you pull that up, I say I am going to try some of that, and I never do.
I also say that for variegated. For I also say variegated for the color change automatically, Ronald. Even though I know that that's not what it's called, but it's the easy word.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to refer to it.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to get some of that because I like the way the latte stripe looks for that do rag.
Hmm.
So I would like to get some of that for um to make another, but I'm gonna make a headscarf. I just haven't. As soon as I finish that do rag, I'm gonna make a headscarf.
Why don't you
And
just wear the do rag as a headscarf? Oh, I gotta go back to
well,
Instagram to see if anybody say anything.
I don't have enough hair in the back. I'm gonna see after I finish making the do rag because I've as I've been making it, I've been saying to myself, should I really just switch to this other headscarf pattern, which is basically a mesh without all the stringy things? And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, I'm halfway through this now. And then should I switch? No, I'm halfway through this now. So now I've already finished the whole like one
First
half
half.
with the first half with the string, and I'm
Hmm.
still debating on whether I should finish it or just go ahead
I
and
mean, you
take that out
might as
and
well
do.
finish it.
But so I'm thinking I'll finish it and see how it looks. But the thing is, I'm not like you. I don't have any hair back here, so I don't have any way to do the anything to wrap the bun around. So I wanted to
Do
see
you
if
have
I could
enough to
make
pull
a
it into a
bun.
ponytail? Because even if you can do just a
barely.
little, if you
I
can
mean,
do just a
if
little
my if
ponytail,
my hair if my hair was not in twists, I could, because I've got
yeah. So if you can do that little
so.
ponytail, and then the back part of the do rag, wrap that around your ponytail, throw like a hair tie, or use one of the wraps to hold it in place, and then use the other wrap to wrap around it. Because the when I pull mine back, some of it is made up from the like some of that bun in the back is made up of my hair, but a lot of it is just made up of the fabric of the do rag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That
I
that
would try it. Yeah.
yeah, that well, if it doesn't end up working, then I'll just end up giving the do rag to one of y'all. But because I want a headscarf that I can, you know, use, and that's why I also want to try some of the
Spectrum is
other
coming for you.
stripe colors, because even though I like the way the latte stripe looks and go with, because I don't wear brown.
I I got the gist of that. Spectrum is really coming for your throat. Spectrum said you're not going to get a single word in
Oh,
edgewise today. Are you plugged
I'm
in?
trying to think of what else I can turn off. I'm plugged in. You know what? I don't think I did the trick of putting it on airplane mode.
She didn't put it on airplane mode, Wally.
So
Can
let
you
me see
believe
if I
that?
did that.
Wally, can you believe it?
Oh, come on. Where are you?
What's going on with office dog?
Let me see. I don't think I did. Let me see. No, I didn't. I didn't turn the
Good.
Wi-Fi off. Sorry.
Do that.
Okay. So I did that. I just turned the Wi-Fi off. So hopefully that will help, because I don't have Wi-Fi on this other end. Yeah, no Wi-Fi here. Let me. And my phone is sitting beside me. Let me make sure my phone's not got Wi-Fi. We are so sad here in this house.
Yeah, y'all are internet deficient. You're Wi-Fi deficient. It's really
Okay.
unfortunate.
I just put my phone on airplane mode as well. So
Oh, I just looked
hopefully
over. It's a good thing my dog came over here. I just looked over and realized I have other things that I can show. I'm going to take off my little hat.
you have other things you can show.
I do. That's what I was saying was I feel like I didn't get anything done, but I actually did get a lot of stuff done. I just
And
didn't
we
finish
want to get
anything.
to the crochet along, and we want to
Yes.
discuss other things. So
So I'll
let's
finish
move
mine.
along.
I'll finish my
Show
other stuff and
show what
then
you
wrap
got.
up with my crochet along. So I started two bandanas. I just need to put the borders on them. So these two got done. I just need to put the borders on
What
them.
color is that? That's a pretty
This
color.
this is some I love this yarn.
I'm sure you've told me before,
Yeah.
and I just
This is from Homophobic Hobby Lobby. This is some I love this yarn something.
oh well, that means I'm never gonna get it because I don't go to Hobby Lobby. Okay.
I don't go to Hobby Lobby very much either. I will go every once in a while if I have a Wednesday market or if I can make it out there after First Friday, which is this Friday. I have First Friday. But I made two, and it's one of the few ones that I feel like the rainbow. It's got a bright enough rainbow, and the rainbow cycles fast, which is the only reason that I keep grabbing this yarn is because it
Mm-hmm.
gets through the rainbow pretty quickly, as opposed to like I love the favorite stripe, but it takes so long to get through the stripes.
Yeah.
Um, and then I made, uh, so I haven't completed any of them, but I made a bunch of chicken bodies.
Chicken bodies. You
So
still
I,
haven't used that red yarn that would be perfect for a chicken.
oh, maybe I'll make some baby chickens out of that. It's still tucked over just to the side of my
Have you
thing.
seen, by the way, the maybe it's just my algorithm, but it seems to have hit the knitting community, the emotional support chickens.
Yes, I was trying to find a crochet version of it, but I couldn't find like because it's like constructed differently than I do my chickens because my chickens are just a bowl that you sew together at the top, or the little square chickens that I made, which are just a square that you sew together on two sides. Um, so I've been trying to find one because that chicken is very like shapely, like it's very chicken shaped.
Yes.
And so I've been trying to find a crochet pattern for it, but I've not found one. And your girl is not picking up needles. It's not on this day.
But I taught you to knit.
And I know how to knit. And I tell people that all the time because people will come to my table all the time like, oh, crocheting, that's so good. I learned how to knit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I also know how to knit. I'm not as fast. I can't make as much stuff. I'm not going to be sitting here with a bunch of sweaters. I also, let's see if people can figure out what this is going to be based on the shape. So I have not finished it because, again, I started a bunch of stuff and didn't finish anything. But can we tell what this is going to be?
I don't know because honestly, it looks like the arrow on top of Appa's head.
Oh my goodness, it does look like a giant Appa arrow. That's so funny. What if I was making a giant Appa and this was the arrow? What if that is all that I was making? And
there is a woman that I follow. You're so silly. There is a woman that I follow on TikTok, and she crocheted. It's called something like an African flower spider, except she made
it's huge.
I know so you've seen it.
About.
You know what I'm talking about.
The butt of it is like this big.
Yeah, it fits in the corner of her room, and she can just like sit on it like it's a chair.
I want to make one, but that is so much yarn. But no, this is the underbelly of a stingray. I found a nice big stingray pattern. So this is his underbelly.
I can see that.
Yeah, and then the top is going to be, do I have it over here? It's the purple yarn that I used for my dragon. Do I have that yarn? Does it exist? It exists somewhere, but not here. It's that purple variegated. I'm not going to go looking for it right now, but it's that. And then the last other thing that I worked on but did not complete, I made a mushroom hat.
So that's the thing with the ruffles that you were working on.
Yes, these ruffles took an eternity. So long. And I have some felt. And so instead of crocheting the spots, I'm just going to cut spots out of felt and sew them on to save myself time and save myself from pricing this up more than I necessarily have to.
See, but the hat part was easy. I thought sure that you were making
one of those ruffle bucket hats that I hate.
What that you hate, yes.
That I thought hate.
Because what you were saying was you said something, you made a comment about how what was it? That once I see it, I would understand because it would really sell well, or it's really popular right now or something like that. So I thought, and then the algorithm started showing me a bunch of those ruffle hats. I said, she's making one of those ruffle hats that she hates.
No, I'm not. I refuse. I would never.
But that is similar to the ruffle hat, though.
It's similar, but these are the gills of a mushroom, though. The other one is like the other one looks like a what am I thinking of? Like something you would put on a baby.
Yeah. It does look like a baby hat.
Whereas this is like more of a like costumed cottage core girly hat. Once again, it looks better without my headphones on, but I wouldn't be able to hear you. But I've got these, and then I've got white felt to make the spots out of, and I'm gonna do that. The thing that I had the issue with was so you see it's kind of got a little scoop in a hat shape here. It didn't originally have that. When I made the red piece, it was a big, like, flat red piece almost. It had like a little bit of a hill in the middle, but it was mostly flat red piece. And then for some reason, even though I followed the pattern, and I don't think the yarns are that dissimilar, when I followed the pattern and made the ruffle, it was a significant amount smaller because this ruffle is supposed to go all the way to the edge. And it was a significant amount smaller than the hat, which then meant that when I sewed it together, the hat ended up bunching to get it. So I tried to make it as like kind of evenly bunched around as possible. And you could put like more of the bunches in the back or more of the bunches in the top, depending on the style that you like. But I don't know why I ended up so even. And I know this is going to sell, especially because I've got the Big Fay Nectar Market next Saturday. So not this upcoming, but next week. And I know this is going to sell once I get the spots on it and sit it out on my table. I don't ever want to make this again. Those ruffles feel like they took years off of my life. It took so long.
I know you were struggling.
It took so long. We were, for anybody watching this who is not my immediate family, we were doing our family game night on Sunday, and I was like literally crocheting and I'm like, for anyone keeping track, I'm still working on the ruffles. Like I was working on it for basically the entire, for like a couple hours. I was working on these ruffles because at the end, let me see if I can pull up my pattern. Hang on, so that you can see, because I was so frustrated. Because it was like, first of all, I was having to do triple crochets, which already was a pain in my tuchus, because triple crochets is like just the act of doing that little extra like yarn over kept throwing me off. So I kept like miss yarning and miss grabbing and stuff. And then let me get to, where's the ruffle part? There we go. Let me show you my screen. Because however many stitches that you thought that I was doing to make those ruffles in the end, you're not thinking enough. Do you see? Where's my mouse? That is how many stitches I was finishing up in my last round of ruffles.
Oh my Lord. Yes. I don't know why they would even put a stitch count there, because nobody is counting 648 stitches. You get past, I get past 100 stitches and I'm like, yeah, it's just gonna have to be what it is.
Exactly. And I didn't even look at that stitch count. I just knew that it was going to be a lot, because the last stitch count that I looked at was 432. It was 432 for the stitch count. Lord. And then it said, and I just looked at the instructions here of increase and then triple and then increase and then triple. And I was like, this is far too many. I hate it. And it looks so cute. I'm so happy with how it turned out. But it also, like, one, it was a bunch of sewing, because I had to, so you make the hat part, you make the red part, and then you make the gill like ruffle, so it's just a circle, right? And then you go in and you sew the inner part to the hat. So this inner rim, you sew it to the hat here. And then you go back and you come up here, because otherwise the ruffles will be separated. So you have to go in and up here sew all of the ruffles down in place so that they're evenly spaced, so the ruffles stay the way that you want them to, and they don't so you don't end up with one flat part and one part that's got a bunch of ruffles. So you have to sew all of the ruffles down. It is so much sewing.
And we know how much you hate sewing.
It looks so cute. It was a labor of love. A labor of communism, not communism, capitalism. A labor of, I need to make some money. And the thing that frustrates me. Go ahead. Okay, yeah. We need to move on. The only other thing I was gonna say was, I was looking at another mushroom hat that was like significantly bigger, one that like comes out like here, like a very big like costumey hat. And now I don't think I ever want to touch that pattern, just because it took so long to do the little one. But anyway, wrapping up with my crochet along.
Well, before we do that, let's hear about Ronald's crochet along, because I bet Ronald has to go back to work.
Yes,
Ronald said he had an update.
You talk in the chat about your crochet along while you're typing your update. My update is that I haven't started.
What? Ma'am.
I haven't started at all.
Ma'am, oh, you're giving me a hard time and you haven't started?
I did all of this other stuff because I have to build up stock, because I don't have any other than what you saw in my little inventory thing and everything that I showed today. That is all of the stuffed animal stock that I have. And those are the amigurumis are the things that really sell, especially at my Faye Nectar market, which is the one that I've got coming up in 2 weeks. And so I'm like, I have to make sure that I've got a stock, because I'm not going to be like busting my butt rushing on that stuff all next week. So I'm like, I've got to get it done. Okay. So Ronald says, let's see. Oh, I pulled it up, I thought.
Well, I tried to pull it up at the same time, and I think we both canceled each other out.
So I have both of the hexagons done, and the first sleeve is finished, but I'm not super happy with that sleeve. So for sleeve number 2, I'm going to do decreases every other stitch. Okay. I'll end up with 2 sleeves that are different. Force me to frog and redo one of them. Oh, no. So are you just going to do them both different, try it on, and see which one you like best, and then redo the one that you don't like? Is that the plan here? Also, you are going to be you are working so fast on this, Ronald. You are going to be done with this
Seriously,
in
you
a
started
week.
early and you're gonna be done way before us.
You're going to have to add an extra crochet along. You need to make some pants to go with that cardigan. I just realized that my keys just chilling in my pocket.
He needs to make himself a mesh T-shirt for a pride parade.
Oh my goodness. Imagine just a full like pride outfit of like the Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripes, and you make like yourself a cardigan and then a tank top to go underneath and then some pants. That would be so cute. Or some shorts. I went and looked at
See,
my
I wasn't gonna say. My thought was booty shorts, and I
booty
thought,
shorts. Yes.
no, I should not stereotype the gays by saying they wear booty shorts to the pride parade.
But also,
So
Pride is
I'm
in June. It's hot. There's a reason they're wearing booty shorts.
okay. So you have not started your crochet along.
Not a single
Ronald
stitch.
is almost finished with his crochet along, and I, you're too old and too chunky. You are not even chunky, sir.
Wild. The lies you tell.
The lies he tells. But so remember that I thought I was going to do the hexagon cardi, right? And I started on Saturday was my
Oop,
day
you're
because
breaking up. Oop.
I
Time
said
out. Time out.
put on a movie, some Bridget, sit down, and I was going to
Time out.
crochet
Spectrum is coming for you. We can't hear
along
you.
with.
Oh, okay. I think you're back almost.
How about now?
You're sounding very robot, but I think we can hear you now. So you said, remember how you thought how we thought you were going to do the hexagon cardi. That's where we left off.
Yes. So I sat down on Saturday. I pulled up my computer because I was, opened my laptop because I was going to crochet along with the video on my laptop while I watched a movie or something. Okay. Because I was
Mm-hmm.
going to do Passionate Kelsey's version of the hexagon cardi. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just like adjust the sleeves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as I pulled up my computer, Yarnspirations, I said, let me check my email first, because that's what I do when I, first open my computer in the morning. Yarnspirations decided to send me another one of their PR emails, and it had a cardi in it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is exactly what I envisioned to go over my shirt because it's more structured. So I switched my pattern at the last minute. So, but to be fair, I hadn't started the other one, so it's not like I was in the middle of one and I switched like I have been doing with this blanket. I switched it and I actually have been working on it, and so far I'm very happy with what I'm working on.
You better
So
be because
I
you're
am
not allowed to
going to.
switch again. You're locked
I don't.
in.
I don't. I don't think I'm going to switch because let me show you what I've got.
Oh my
I'm going to
goodness! Did
show
you
it to
take
you on.
pictures?
Oh no, I'm going to show you where I am so far, but I wanted to show you um
Oh, the pattern on.
the
Yeah.
the pattern. The pattern. Yes. I'm adding the
Okay.
pattern. Okay.
Cute.
So see what I mean how this I don't know how to explain it other than I feel like this has more structure to it. Structure
Mm-hmm.
is the word I keep using, but it just seems more it doesn't seem quite as floppy
Yeah.
as the hexagon cardi.
So are you gonna just add longer sleeves to that, or are you gonna
No,
leave the sleeves
I want
short?
the sleeves. I know I want the sleeves just like that. This shirt
I
right here is exactly what I pictured to go over my dress.
I thought part of the reason of making this was because we're always cold at dinner and you want a jacket.
Yeah,
Is
but
it
I don't want a long sleeve jacket. I don't want to look because we are on even though it's September, we are on a tropical vacation. So I
okay?
don't want a long sleeve thing. I just wanted something a little bit because if I get something just a little bit that goes down to my elbows, that'll be fine.
Okay.
because usually it's like my shoulder area that gets a little bit chilly when we're there in the air. So if I've got that on, that should be fine.
All right.
Um, so this also, I like the way it is because see this seam down the back?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only seam.
Okay.
So I like that I'm not having to, you know,
Add a bunch of stuff.
yeah.
Are you gonna put buttons on it?
No, no, not for vacation. I may put buttons on it to wear like later in a future date, but for vacation, I plan on having it hanging open because
Okay.
that's where I wear my shirts or my sweaters or whatever. I never button them. So, and there's already been 10 projects of this made.
Ooh, I like that purple and black.
Yeah, if I could do that, but your father said black and white, so
Black
I
and
was gonna
white.
go.
The one with the stripe. I like
Yes,
that.
I'm gonna do that stripe. I actually emailed her and asked, do you happen to remember where you added the stripe? And she said somewhere around row 13. So I'm coming up on adding the stripe soon.
Oh, so
So
you got some progress.
I'm gonna put the black stripe in. I'm doing it all in white, and I'm gonna do the black stripe because my dress is black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do this all in white and put a black stripe down it, and I think that will. And it just hit me. Maybe, even though this isn't necessarily dressy, I might make a bucket hat to go with it. Maybe
Ooh, cute.
because Passionate Kelsey has been doing a bucket hat. And see, Ronald is saying that the hex part works up fast. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does work up fast, but there's just something about the hexagon cardi that does not. I don't know how to.
See, I want to make one. I want to make four. I right now I want to make four. I'll probably make one and then be like, this is too big of a project for me.
I'm trying to see if I can. I'm
But if
trying to
you're
pull up a picture
if you're
of the
already at the
hexagon
stripe, it
cardi to
is
show.
you are working up pretty fast. That means you're almost
Well, I'm
done.
getting close to the stripe. I'm not because she said at round 13 she added the stripe, and I'm starting round 7 right now, so I'm getting close. I had
Mm-hmm.
to pull some out last night, which is what I was telling Ronald. I had to pull
Mm.
some out last night. Where is it? I was trying to find something.
I think is yours is a hexagon, right, mommy? Mm.
Not technically.
Oh, what?
The one that I'm making now is not technically a hexagon. It
What
is
shape is
a
it?
I don't know. Maybe you could describe it as I'm gonna pull this out so I don't mess it up. But I had somewhere around I had messed up one of the corners, and so I had to pull out like 3 rows because somehow I had messed up the corners. This is where I am so far.
Is that your sleeve hole? Is that what that is?
Yes, this is the armhole. And in keeping with the we don't swatch in this house.
We don't.
I was gonna swatch, but I couldn't. I what I like to do instead of swatching is one of the things that Elizabeth Zimmerman, famous knitter, said, um, which is just go ahead and start on it. I believe it was Elizabeth Zimmerman. Just go ahead and start on it and then measure when you get about 4 inches to see if you've got, like
If
start
you've
on the
met
front
swatch,
project. Is Yeah, instead of making a whole
a whole separate
square
thing. Yeah.
that you're just gonna have to rip back out. So that's what I was planning to do, but the way this has worked, it's not really easy to measure it as a swatch. So what I did was I did the 66 because I decided I'm going to do this in the 2x 3x according to my measurements. The
Hmm.
2x 3x should be the right size, even though my instinct was telling me go for the 4 or 5x. But I did the 66 stitches for the armhole here.
Hmm.
And I'm using a 6 millimeter. I started with a 5 millimeter, but I and then I put it around my armhole because it said this is the armhole opening. So I put it
Hmm.
around my arm. It wouldn't even go all the way around my arm. So I went up to a 6 because I don't have a 5.5. I have a
Yeah,
5.5 around here somewhere in one of these project bags. Can't find it. I don't know
you're good.
why because I never use a 5.5. So why are all my 5.5s lost? But anyway,
You're good.
I have like 5 of these. J is the size of the very first crochet hook I ever had in middle school, and for a
Hmm.
long time it was the only crochet hook I ever had. So to me, J is the size you're supposed to have. So I have a million
I
of these.
I literally only use my 5 millimeter because I just bought a new one and it's got a grip on it. Otherwise, I would be using my 5.5 because that's the one that I used for the longest time. But I just thought, where in the Jesus are you? Oh, it's in my project bag. But ooh, continue talking.
But anyway, so oh, so you do use
Spectrum, I banish you. Spectrum, I command you to let my mother speak to me. I am trying to stream and have a conversation with my mother. Spectrum, out devil. I don't think it worked. I just want to speak to my mother. And Spectrum is trying to stop me. That should
what's
be
the
their new
word?
slogan. Now I can hear you. Are you speaking?
Precious sorrow, Clementine. Oh
Precious sorrow,
no.
Clementine. What? I hear it's like breaking up, and all of a sudden, precious sorrow, Clementine. What is going on?
You are lost and gone forever?
Oh, my darling Clementine. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. I'm caught up now.
Yes. You're caught up now.
I was trying to banish Spectrum, but you were saying you do use what? Are you talking about the grip on my hook?
Yes, I was saying I didn't know that you use hooks with grips.
This is
I
the
just
only
bought
one with
my
the grip that
first
I
hook.
have.
I just bought my first hook with a grip to make the do rag because it
Hmm.
called for like an
I
8 millimeter, so I bought one.
I like the grip. I really want to get one of the ones that have the big handle.
The like one of the chunky boys,
Yeah, like
which are
the
always sold
furls I
out.
think make some and stuff. I wanna try some of those that are always sold out because it makes it a lot easier. And then it also I I have just like worn down my other hooks. I crochet far too much. Let me see. Dang, you can really just see it on every single one of my hooks, huh? Let's see if I can embiggen myself and show you this. That's what. Yep. Okay, let's see. Can you see where I've worn the paint away? Where it's like it's not even paint
Oh
because it's
my
like colored metal,
goodness.
but it's like pale, and then that's
Yeah.
the color it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I've worn it away because that's where it
Oh
sits
my
on my hand.
goodness.
It rubs my hand because I've worn it away up at the top too, where my finger touches. You can't see it so much up there, but I've worn the paint away on that one. You can just barely see it on this one because this is the one that I use for my amigurumis a lot of times. You can see like right there at the end where it's like darker and then it's like faded.
Oh
I
Lord.
Yes. So I was like, let me get something with a hook. Or let me get something with a grip that is because clearly I am doing some damage. I've got my other hook here somewhere. But anyway, I'm gonna unbig it myself. That is all that I wanted to say about that. Is I needed to get something because I am wearing down these hooks. I've done too much. Cheese and
Okay.
crackers.
So cheese and cracker.
You're just throwing schematics at me.
I don't knit or crochet from graphs except to how are you wearing the color off of all your hooks? You're so
Because
weird.
I just use my hooks too much. It's literally that is where it rubs against my hand right here. Because I hold my hook right
Hmm.
here and do this, and that is where it presses against the meat. What is this? The heel
I'm trying to.
of my hand, and so it just wears
I don't.
away.
I'm
This is my
like.
5.25. So this is the one that I use for
I
basically
don't.
everything for the
I
longest
don't
time.
think. I don't think the bottom of my hook even touches my hand very much. I think I'm just kind of like that. I'll
No,
have to
yeah,
do it.
it's
I'll have to see when I do it. But anyway, so that's the schematic. So you see that hole in the center. That's the chain that you
okay.
start with. Okay,
So you
I'm
start with the
touching my
armhole.
screen like you can see. So you start with the armhole.
Okay.
So instead of doing a swatch, I went ahead and did the 66 stitches for the 2 to 3X because the chest
Mm-hmm.
measurement matches my chest measurement. So I did that. It didn't work. I went up to the 6, and I realized I was making the chain too tight for the first one with the 5 because normally I'm a loose crocheter, but I think I make my chains kind of tight. And this one said chain loosely in all caps, so I did the 6 and went loose, and it fits just right. It has like this much room left,
Okay.
so that it's not going to feel constricting. So I'm hoping that the rest of the shirt isn't overly big because I fit it to my armhole. Okay. So
I mean, you have to
that's,
fit it to your armhole, otherwise you won't be able to wear
yeah.
the shirt big or
So I
not.
fit it to my armhole, but I don't know how the rest of it's going to work. But anyway, so you go around the whole
Mhm.
thing. So
And then
but
you
I
start
had to
making that
pull.
flat bottom part.
Yeah, well, the flat bottom part, you see, like right after you go around in that first circle,
Mm-hmm.
then you do. Oh, I didn't know. Can you see that cursor?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
so it's not my imagination. I've got 2 cursors that's showing on my screen. Very strange. Okay, so
It's really coming for us today. Spectrum just is not having it.
yeah, I think I need
I
to.
need
I think I
everyone.
need to close
You think you
the
need?
schematic because
Okay.
it doesn't like me. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
close that.
Close it out. And I need everybody who's
Mhm.
watching this, if you're watching us live or watching the VOD, call Spectrum and complain that you can't watch your favorite stream because they're coming for us. Tell them that they need to remove their commercials and say that they give everybody fast internet and so you can watch our stream.
Okay, so I'm stopping that. Okay, so hopefully that works. And I'm closing that. And just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and close the crossword screen because it's just
Yeah,
not
close it
acting right.
all. It should stay up in the
Okay,
background, so we should be fine.
so, but, so basically, you crochet around here and then you do a little like 6 or 8 chain at the end, and then and
Oh,
then do
when you
double
go around.
crochets all do double crochets all around there, and now going all the way around the whole thing,
Mm.
if that makes sense. You do the circle and then the little edge thing coming down, and then you go around that whole thing, which is
Okay.
making the nice flat down here. But what happens? So right now I have the circle, which I'm assuming this is my shoulder
Mm-hmm.
and this is the bottom part
That
of
would
the
make sense.
shirt. And it's nice. You see, it's nice and square here. I see how this is nice and lovely and square.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, from like 3 rows back, I had forgotten to do an extra chain 3, or I mean, extra
Mm-hmm.
3 double crochets, chain 3. And so I had just an ugly swoop going on this
Ooh.
side.
So you had to go
And
back
I
and
was
fix
like,
it.
and I was like, well, I could just crochet over this, but it was such an ugly swoop, and this one was like so nice
So
that
you
I
went back and
just
fixed it.
so I pulled yeah, I pulled out 3 rows, which is what I was saying to Ronald last night while we were playing games. I'm pulling 3 rows of crochet out, going
Not Ronald saying y'all had everybody saying onward and
yep,
upward.
onward and upward. Yep, yep.
Onward and upward. Copyright. I'm gonna need to see some money from that. That's all me and Isaac's thing.
But now that I'm up to like row 3, because basically you do the first couple rounds, and then round 3 you do over and over and over and over again
Yeah.
until you get to the front half. So that I've got memorized because it is pretty much, 3 double crochet, chain one, 3 double crochet, chain one,
Mm.
into the next space.
That's why I
Like,
love a granny stitch.
so this is going very quickly.
Let me know, because so far, based on how you're describing it, I would like to try that top, and I feel like I could make like 1 or 2 to sell at the market. Let me know how the collar goes. That is the thing that
Yeah.
I'm concerned about. Let me know how easy
That's
your fitting
that's
that collar
that's
is.
what I'm feeling right now. Is like right now this is going very smoothly and I'm zipping along, but I'm afraid I'm gonna get to the collar and the button band and go, ugh, I hate this. So but right now it's zipping along. It's zipping is it's dangerously fast because now I'm starting to think, yeah, Kelsey doesn't believe in
Does
chain
it chain one
ones.
in between her? Like,
Yeah, I know because I watched her do her other Granny Square video. She doesn't believe in chain ones, but it's dangerously because I'm starting to think, okay, I can also make myself a belt or a hat or something like that. I'm starting to think I can make all kinds of things for vacation because this is moving so fast.
no.
But
You would just work on finishing your cardigan.
exactly. Work on finishing my cardigan and stop having delusions of speediness that I can make a million things in the 3 months that we have. I'm trying to keep in my mind we have 3 months, which means I need to hurry up and buy a new bathing suit top and new undergarments that I wanted to buy before vacation. We have
I
three
was just looking at
months.
bathing suits because I kind of want to get a new bathing suit. I had a dream literally last night. I dreamed that we were on the boat and I was trying to explain to Ari and Tyler where to get the food, and we were like at the buffet, and I was explaining to them where to get the food, and we were like sitting on the deck, and then we were like, oh, it's time to go to the beach, and so I was trying to like blow up. I bought like a new like big like floaty or whatever, so I was trying to blow up my floaty, and it just would not inflate and stuff. And then I woke up and I was like, we're not on the see, yeah, right there where you sit your hand. That's where that's where my handle is rubbed off.
So clearly you just crochet more than I do because
I
none of
just
my handles have ever rubbed off. So
constantly. I
I
didn't
don't
even know it was
crochet
an
enough.
option. I didn't even know it was a thing until I looked at this is the one that's rubbed off the most. Is my green one because this is my 5.25 millimeter. But it's like
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the lighter color coming through.
yeah, and it's like it even show. I was like the fact that this shows up on camera means that I've done too much. So I got some with a handle because clearly I'm doing a lot of crocheting. And so I'm trying to see the handle does feel a little better. I want to get some more. I'm probably going to get a few different because this is my 5 millimeter. I'm probably going to get a few different 5 millimeters with different handles to figure out which one I like better. And then once I figure out which one I like the best, then I'll get the other sizes in those handles. Because I really like I can like feel my hand itching for the big egg shaped like furls one.
Uh huh.
Furls is the one that I think of because that's the one that Alt Knots uses. She uses
Uh huh.
the furls ones, and it looks so nice. And I just want to like this nice big chunky handle. But those are also she buys like
They're pricey, aren't they?
yeah, she buys like bespoke fancy crochet hooks, and I'm like
Mm.
I want the same thing but less. I also looked at what is it called? Crochet hook molds because I have resin, And so I was like, I wonder if I can just make myself some crochet hooks and like make some crochet hooks and sell at like market and stuff. Because I have a lot of people come to my table and they're like, oh, I crochet and I'm like, you can buy some fancy hooks. So, but that's an entirely separate craft that I do not have time for currently.
Okay, so that is the crochet along. I just need to remember to, because part of me is like, oh, this is going so fast that I can put this down for a while and work on something different.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And
Because that's how I ended up with all of my stuff.
Uh-huh. That's what will get me, is that I think I can put it down and come back to it and still have time. And so I just need to remind myself, no, I cannot. No, I cannot.
That's part of go ahead.
No, at the very least, if I put it down, I will just put it down to color, not to work on another needlework project.
Ronald.
Put it down to rest my hands.
Ronald is not following our house rules. Ronald says I bought the exact same Clover Amore hook that Kelsey used because he's scared that if he doesn't follow it exactly, that it won't turn out right. Ronald.
To be fair, when I was younger, I went through a period where I could not, like, I would see a pattern and I could not picture what the pattern would look like in another color. So like if they had knit that pattern in blue, I felt like I had to make it in blue. I didn't necessarily feel like I had to buy the expensive yarn they had because, me and money. But my brain could not see the shirt in blue. It's like, do I like this shirt because it's blue, or do I like this shirt because it's the shape of the shirt? And I thought maybe I wouldn't like it as much if I made it in green.
While we are on that topic, also Ronald says exactly the same. While we are on that topic, this is a message. I'm gonna get close, listener. I'm just gonna get close. This is a message to all of my pattern making girls, gays, and days out there. Please stop naming your pattern after the colorway. Or not, please stop naming your pattern because of the colorway. Like, if you're making a top and you made it in blue, why are you calling it the Blue Skies top when it could be made in a plethora of other colors? It is so frustrating because people will make a pattern and the colorway of the yarn that they use is called like Fantasy Revival. And so they'll call it like a coat for the fairies. And it is just the most plain square cardigan that I've seen in the world. Just because you use these colors doesn't mean it needs to be named that. Thank you. I don't know why that irks me, but it bothers me so much.
Ronald, I still have remnants of this in me because I have that Mo blanket that I started that I really want to get back to. It's sitting in this bag right under the skein
The
of
star
yarn
blanket
that I'm using for this. The what?
The star blanket or the mandala blanket thing?
Yeah, the mandala blanket
Okay.
that was called Mo something, Mo Better, Mo something. The guy's name is Mo, and he named all the patterns he designed are Mo something. So
okay.
he didn't name them after colors; he named them after himself.
Cool, that is okay with me.
Mo something.
You go, Mo.
But he made his in like I think he used a bunch of different colors or something, kind of like the Sophia's Universe blankets. And I had to see if someone had made it in the color that I was planning to use. So I went on Ravelry to see if anybody had made it in that color before I decided to because I was using a variegated cake yarn instead of using 15 different scrap yarns. And I went on Ravelry, so I found somebody who was making it in that color, and I saw it and I liked it, and so now yes, I'm making it.
Meanwhile, I will grab whatever yarn.
I probably would have made it anyway, but it I don't know, it gives me a extra sense of assurance to see that somebody else made it and it looks like I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with this shirt that I'm making now, I went on there and I looked at the colors. Yes.
The coffee cup that's in the background right now, is that a frog? One looks like a
Um.
flower, and then the one on the
Okay.
right.
There's a leaf.
Okay, can't see that one.
This is another leaf and a flower,
Okay.
and I think these are just leaves and a different kind of flower. So
Okay,
they're
that
all
flower
kind
looks
of
like a frog.
yeah, they're all kinds of flowers.
Yeah, the one on the last one that you pointed to looks like a frog. Continue. Sorry, that's why I was like, is that a frog coffee? Continue.
But yeah, like this shirt that I'm making now, I went on to see if somebody else did it with a stripe down the front, kind of like, because I want something that
Mm-hmm.
that is reminiscent of those Cuban shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and so the stripe down that there makes it reminiscent of like a Cuban
Yeah.
shirt. So that's what I wanted, and I wanted to see if somebody else had done it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I could have done it myself anyway, but it's more comforting to me to see that somebody's done it.
The shirt that you're making, what size does it go up to? Because I'm kind of actually, I have absolutely no time for this. But if for some reason I find that I have a lot of time on my hands, it would be so cute if I made like matching ones for me and Wayne. What size does
It
it go?
goes up to a 5X.
Okay.
Um I wish I'd brought my thing in here so I could pull it up because I'm afraid to pull it up on this computer because the
Oh yeah,
computer
no, no,
is
no.
already
You
acting
can
funny.
absolutely do that later.
But it I know that it goes up to a 4 to 5X. I know that the 2 to 3X because I wrote it down. I have this composition book that I started several years ago. Even though I
Mm-hmm.
use Ravelry, I still use this from time to time, um, so that I don't have to print out the pattern because technically this is my boss's paper, not mine. So I don't have to print out the pattern, but also it helps me because I put little marks on, well, I changed the hook or I did this or I did that. So if I put this pattern down, which this pattern I'm not going to, but if I put this pattern down and it ends up in a bag for 6 months, then I can go back in the the book and say, oh, this is what I was doing with this.
I need to do
And
that.
I have already this has already worked for me because I have picked up because I started this like um the first one 2017. The first one I wrote in here was 2017. I don't always use it, but the first project I wrote in here was 2017, and then I ended up picking it back up like 2 years later
Mm-hmm.
and was able to pick back up the project that was in there and finish it
I need
because
to do that.
I had written down little scratch and screw I write down like the name of the pattern, what website I got it from, what yarn I'm using, the hook size I'm using, and then I'll put a note that I started with this hook, but that didn't work. Put it this hook. You know, what date I started it, what date I want to finish it by, what gauge it's supposed to be, and then I have like just working notes down
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom, and that's where you see my little marks down there. That's where I just do my little because even though I have row counters and stuff, I'm old school. I really feel more comfortable just putting hatch marks on a piece of paper. And I used to
The
do that on the printed pat. I used to,
good.
yes,
I was
yes,
gonna say
you were saying,
the only thing that stops me from doing the hatch marks, like if I am not able to, because I have my row counter. You and I both know what row counter that I use. Everybody in the world knows what row counter I use because I love to use it and I talk about it all the time.
uh huh,
But the thing that makes me use my row counter as opposed to doing the hatch marks, because I also like doing the hatch marks, because I can like scribble and like make notes or whatever. Is if I'm using my row counter, I will have
hmm
my phone like sitting up like this, and I'll crochet, and then
uh huh,
without having to put anything down and pick a pencil up, I can tap with my pinky and tap the big plus button
uh
and keep going without, which saves me time from like sitting myself down, picking up the pen, making the mark,
huh.
putting the pen down, picking my thing up, getting resituated, and like keep going. I can just like tap and like keep going.
Well, see, you're knitting at production, so that makes sense. But for me, I'm still more comfortable just having, like when I used to work in an office, I would print the pattern out on the office printer,
Mm-hmm.
or make a photocopy. Because back then I was using magazines, pre-internet. I was using library books and magazines. So I would take the book to work and put it on the copy machine, make copies of the pattern, and then I would scribble and make all my notes on the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book or whatever was not mine. So I'm still, even though I've tried other methods, I still feel comfortable with this. So I do this. And sometimes I'll make notes in Ravelry, but there's still a part of me that feels like Ravelry's going to go away one day, and then I'm not going to have all these notes.
Don't
So
say that to me.
I know, I know. Hey, I'm still using Ravelry too. I still put
That's
pictures of my projects and stuff in Ravelry too because I can't see myself. There are people who have paper journals and project journals, and they print out photographs of their project to put in the book, and I'm like, I do not have the capability for that.
I don't have a
So that's not going
printer.
to happen.
I'd have to go to the library.
Okay, you got a hard out at 12, ma'am?
Not today. One person doesn't have to be at work until 4, and the other person said wake them up at 12:30. So we got some
Okay,
time. We can
well,
hang.
we have finished with our crochet along. I really want to talk about some other stuff.
Yeah.
So, are you working on some stuff? I can talk while you crochet if that's what you need to do.
Um, these bees are gonna be a pain in my butt, so I might just work on some more bandanas in the meantime. Before you talk about your stuff, though,
Cuz I got
I
I got I got thoughts. Mhm.
you can talk about your thoughts. I just want to talk about my
Are
life
we going to
update.
do we're going to do our life update. Okay.
Um, life update. I had to go to the mechanic this morning. I was very frustrated because last night, I noticed because our car has an oil leak. We know the car has an oil leak. I have to uh Ronald says the reason I'm moving so fast is because I was under the incorrect assumption that the crochet along was June only. I thought I had to finish by June 30th. No, we got until August.
No,
August
we've
6th.
got until August 30th because that's when I'm going to have my bags packed for vacation, and I am not crocheting this on vacation.
Yeah.
So my thought for the crochet along was to make as many things as I can for wearables for vacation between now and August 30th. I may only get this shirt done, but I may get a belt for the dress as well. I may get a bucket hat. We'll see.
But so we have an oil leak in our car. I went to check the oil last night because Wayne checked the oil yesterday and was like, it's really, really low. So we put some oil in it. And then I went to check it when I got home and it was like the dipstick was coming out bone dry. And I was like, something is wrong. And so I went to put the dipstick in. Our dipstick tube, which is already a pain in the butt because to get the dipstick tube out, there's like, here's the tube. Here's the hole where the tube comes out, and then the little handle that you grab to pull the dipstick tube out. And then there's a pipe thing that runs right in between that. So you have to either pull it to one side or the other side of the pipe to get it out. So it's already a hassle to deal with. But so the tube, when I put it in and went to pull it back out to check the oil again, I noticed our tube had shifted. So instead of being straight up and down like this, the tube was like this. So it's at an angle, which makes it harder to put the tube in and out. And it was at an angle. And I'm like, if it's shifted at an angle like this, then it may not be lined up with where the oil is. And that's why it's coming out dry, is that it's not going in where it's supposed to because the tube has been shifted. Because in this car, our dipstick tube has fully come out before. Like it got stuck on the little thing and the tube itself has fully come out and had to be replaced. So I'm like, it was never very solidly on there in the first place. So it may have just shifted and it's not in place. So we call the mechanic that we've been using for a little while. I'm not going to out them because I guess they do good work for other people, which they've done some good work for us before too. But Wayne calls them this morning. He has to get up at 7 in the morning so that he can call them right when they open at 8 so we can try to get in because we need to be able to consistently check our oil because we know that we have a leak. So we need to be able to check it to make sure that we always have enough oil in there. He calls them and talks to them. I didn't hear the conversation because I was still in here asleep. But he calls them and they're able to get us in. They said they can get us in the next hour. And when he's like, do you want me to go with you? And I'm like, no, I can go by myself. And he's like, okay, just make sure when you get in there, you tell them you don't want them to just check your oil. They need to readjust the dipstick tube, because when I was talking to him on the phone, he's like, yeah, we can check your oil. And I was like, no, we need you to fix the tube. And so I get in, I get all my stuff together, get my crocheting together, go in there. And I go in and I'm like, hey, my husband just spoke to you on the phone. We have an issue. Our dipstick tube is moved out of place. We have an oil leak, so I need to be able to check my oil. And he's like, okay, we'll check it for you. And I'm like, okay, just we need to be able to check it as well when we're not here. So if you guys could shift it back into place. And he's like, yeah, okay. And they're busy. There's like 2 other people waiting in there. Another person comes in while I'm in line. So like they're busy. I go sit down. Not even 10 minutes later, like I go to start putting wings on a beat and I don't even finish a single wing. And he comes and he's like, hey, you're ready. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, you, they checked it. You were a little low. So we went ahead and put a little bit of oil in there to top you off. But we checked it and you're good. And I'm like, okay, but did you move the tube back? And they're like, yeah, you just need to put the thing in and pull it back out and you can check it that way. And they kept talking around it saying, oh, you just need to put the dipstick in and pull it out. And like, oh, if it comes out dry, that doesn't mean that it's completely empty. And oh, this, oh, that. But they never actually said we moved the tube back. And they kept like talking around the fact that I was saying, it's not where it's supposed to be. Did you put it back? And they like just kept talking around me. And they were talking to me like I was the one that didn't know what I was talking about. And I'm like, I've been using this dipstick tube for the last 2 years since I got this car. It's not where it's supposed to be. Like, why are you talking to me some kind of way? And so then I drive home. And the car is like smoking a little bit. And I'm like, okay, they must have spilled a bunch of oil when they topped it off. Because they only charge us $12. They charge us $12 for the little bit of oil that they topped off. And I'm like, if they only charge us $12, I bet you they didn't fix it. But I wasn't about to like lift the hood up while I was sitting in their parking lot. So I drove home, like the 5 minutes to drive home or whatever. And it's still smoking a good bit. Like I sit in my driveway and it's smoking a good bit. So I get out of the car and lift the hood up. Not only is it still smoking, not only is the dipstick tube still in the incorrect place, they didn't put my oil cap back. They took the cap off of the oil to fill up my oil and did not put it back. And so the $12.
So I don't know about oil caps. Is it just like sitting in the engine but to the side, or like do they have it at the place?
No, I eventually found it because I was like, what is going on? Because I popped the hood and I was like, why is my hood not opening correctly? Did they bump something? And then I look and the oil cap's not there. They had sat the little latch that closes my hood. So I could have had the hood fly up while I was driving home. The little latch that closes my hood, they had sat the oil cap there while they were putting in the oil and not fixing my dipstick tube. And then they didn't put the cap back. They just closed the hood on the cap. So I had the cap, thank goodness. But before I found that the cap was sitting right there, because I didn't notice that it was sitting right there until I went to go close the hood again. So I found the cap that was sitting right there. But before that, I called them and I was like, hey, I was just there. You guys were working on my oil and my dipstick tube. You guys didn't put the oil cap back. And they're like, okay, just come down here and we'll either find it or get you a new one. Like, not concerned whatsoever, did not apologize to me whatsoever. And so the $12 worth of oil that they put in my car, if you look at the hood of the car, because I drove home with it, if you look at the hood of the car, you can see the oil had spurted out onto the hood of the car. So that $12 worth of oil, gone. It was like, it had all spurted onto the car and it burned off. So I wasted money paying them to oil in my car that then spurted out. They didn't put my oil cap back, which could have gotten lost, or I could have had the hood fly up because it was in the latch and they didn't notice when they went and closed it. And I wasted the gas to drive over there. And they talked to me like I was stupid. It was, I was so
did you go back and have them put more oil in, or?
No, I didn't go back. We don't want to go back there at all. We called another mechanic and we're going to go to another mechanic. So this is me saying that I may not be there on Friday because the other mechanic, I have to go there Friday morning. So we're going at 8 a.m. Friday morning to a different mechanic who actually listened to my husband and is going to put the dipstick tube back correctly. Even if they had said, oh, we looked at it and it's in the right place, it's just a little to the side, you're still good. But they would not they would not agree with me or even acknowledge the fact that I was saying that the tube is not in the right spot. They were just saying, oh, you just got to put the tube in and pull it back out. And it doesn't mean it's all completely out of oil and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but it's not in the right spot and you're not listening to me.
That's a bummer.
It was very frustrating. Luckily, they didn't charge us because I was like, if they had charged us more than that $12, if they had charged us like $50, I would have been back there. I would have been like, you didn't move, you didn't fix the thing that I asked you to fix. You left my oil cap off. Like, we got to work something out here. But it was $12, so we're just going to take it at a loss and go somewhere else.
Bummer.
It's just, and it makes me wonder that it really makes me wonder if I had brought Wayne with me, if things had gone differently. If it would have been
a difference.
Yes. Talking to a white man as opposed to a little non-binary black little thing.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
The only time that has ever happened to me, I'll be honest, a lot of times I'm oblivious to things. Like sometimes people may be being racist to me, but since I don't hear them, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad. They're wasting their precious racist energy because I don't hear it anyway,
out into the void.
Along, not realizing they're being racist to me because I'm just bobbing along. Mm-hmm. So maybe they don't get the satisfaction of me crumpling from their racist, energy waves or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the same thing with like being sexist. I have never really run into that except one time many years ago. I think you were a wee bairn, and I went to I was just at Radio Shack. This is how long ago it was because Radio Shack isn't even a thing anymore. I was at Radio Shack and they I was just looking at computers because I was thinking of, upgrading, getting a new computer, and I was, starting to ask about specs. And the salesman kept saying, "Oh, well, when you bring your husband in, he can, we can talk to him about the different this and that." And he kept saying it over and over, and I'd ask him a different question, and he'd say, "Well, I bet your husband probably wants to play this video game and blah, blah, blah." Sir, my husband does not know how to turn the computer on.
My papa was not a technology man.
I mean, he's more of a technology man now.
But back then, my papa was not a technology man.
Because this was before, this was so long ago. This was before cell phones. Okay. And, as soon as he got a cell phone, he became obsessed with, he used to be obsessed with his pager. And then, don't be laughing.
Not the
pager. He always had to have the latest pager. And then when cell phones came out, he was all about the cell phone. And that's what eased him into computer stuff, was the cell phone. Mm-hmm. Because not just him, but people around here in general, I know I'm getting on a tangent, but people around here in general accepted cell phones before they accepted computers. There was a long time where there was not computers in our schools here in this local area, and it's just people were more comfortable with cell phones than they were with computers. And then once cell phones kind of really went into the smartphone era with iPhones and Androids, then people started to accept, oh, well, this is kind of like having a computer.
This is just my cell phone, but bigger.
Yes, this is just my cell phone, but bigger. Exactly. And so now people are more accepting of computers around here, but for a long time it wasn't that way. But just to have that guy telling me, well, your husband is like, and see, even then I wasn't offended. I was amused because I knew my husband didn't know how to work a computer.
Ridiculous.
He didn't know the first thing about working a computer.
Yeah,
so I was just amused.
I don't notice it super often because it doesn't happen to me super often. I noticed it today, definitely, because I'm concerned about the car and they are not confirming that they have corrected the issue that I was concerned about, that I know for a fact is right. And so they were not correcting the issue that I was concerned about. And then the only other time that I can think about in recent history.
Yeah, I can see. I was.
Go ahead.
Just on.
Ooh, Spectrum?
I was just on a window shopping trip, so I could afford to be amused, but you needed to get your car fixed. So
Yes.
that's different than just me being amused at the silly sexist man.
Mhm. Yeah, the only other time that I can think of where something like that happened was back when like do you remember years ago when we were driving Wayne's grandfather's car and it was that big Ford F-150?
Vaguely.
That's the one that I got. Yeah, that's the one that I got into a wreck in, where that lady pulled out in front of me. When I was driving that car, I am the person in the house that has the license. We would pull up to like Ingles or Walmart or something, and people would come up to us. Like Wayne and I would get out of the car to go grocery shopping or something, and people would come up to us and they'd go up to him and say, "Oh, that's a nice car you have out there." And I'm like, I was the one driving. You can't drive this thing at all. What are you talking about? I have the keys. I was getting out. And they would go directly up to him and it's like, oh, it's a nice truck you got, and blah blah, and ask him about stuff. And I'm like, am I a chauffeur? What is this?
So
Wild.
silly. So is that all the
But
life
yeah,
update we got?
yeah, that was it. I've got some markets coming up this weekend, and I had BIPOC market this past Sunday. It was slow. I had Faye Nectar this past Saturday, also slow because it's the weekend after a holiday. And then I've got Faye Nectar this Saturday and First Friday this Friday. So
Wayne is built for it tough.
built for tough.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know who Nobody Special is, by the way.
I bet you that. Well, I don't want to say. I'm guessing it might be Isaac, but maybe not.
Oh, that sounds like, yeah,
It
because
sounds like a name that Isaac would choose. If you're not Isaac, though,
it
sound off.
does. It does sound like a name Isaac would choose. But I think Isaac is supposed to be at the dentist.
Is he streaming at the dentist? Is that if you're at the? It's Isaac. Isaac, tell all of your dentists to watch us. I was going to say dental
Don't
doctors.
no, don't tell them to watch us. That's embarrassing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to some um media consumption, and I will try to run through these things since we got about 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, I thought
But
you were going to go through your shower
these
thoughts. There's a lot of thoughts down there.
yeah, oh, I'm well, shower thoughts can go in with media consumption.
Okay.
I'm going to run through them quick. Um First off, debating whether to jump back into social media. This kind of jumps into the thing that I did last week, which is which
Thumbs
is
up.
I watched the Black Twitter documentary. Remember when I mentioned the Black Twitter documentary?
Yes.
Yes, and I watched it, and again it made me feel, I don't think I really got into this when I watched it last time, but it's like whenever people talk about things like Black Twitter, I feel like in the I'm over here on the side with the white people because I didn't know what Black Twitter was. I was on Twitter way before a lot of these people in this video were talking about Twitter, but
Mm-hmm.
I was on Twitter with all the geeky people trying out this new thing
Yeah.
before there was even a Twitter like app or anything, and you would just keep getting little text to your phone whenever somebody updated or whatever. I started on Twitter way, way before all the comedians and the brands and all that other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also, once all the comedians and the brands and all these people came on, I kind of fell off of Twitter because I felt like I wasn't funny enough or witty enough, because when Twitter started, it was people talking about, "Hey, I had a ham sandwich for lunch. What you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really anything earth shattering. And then everybody started having a face off about how funny they could be. And it was like, I'm out because I'm not funny.
Isaac
And,
says you don't follow the Black people Twitter subreddit.
and very funny. And so it's like, I'm just not in the spaces. Um, I'm missed what show, Ari? I'm not in the
This show,
spaces
us.
of, um, because Black Twitter is not a specific place. It's just if you follow the right people, then your feed is filled with Black Twitter. And because of the interests that I have, I just end up not being in the spaces where I just don't end up being in the spaces where Black Twitter would get to
Mm.
me. So I miss all of these Black Twitter things. So I feel like I definitely had my, when I watched that Black Twitter thing, I definitely felt like I had my Black card revoked.
Ooh.
And part of me was like, well, Twitter is now X, and a lot of people are leaving it or whatever, or trying to find different places. And so it's like, well, maybe this is my chance to get among the Black Twitter folk. And so I started looking, because there was articles about things
Are you
that
on
you could do,
Threads?
instead of Black Twitter. Where they were trying to make predictions of where the Black Twitter people were going to go now that
Hmm.
Twitter is X, and Eli is racist. And so I downloaded a bunch of stuff. I've got WhatsApp, I've got
Okay.
Spill, I've got Black Planet. Now I
Okay.
haven't signed up for any of these, but I downloaded the apps and I said I'm gonna sit down one day and just sign up for all of them and see what it's like. Because there's part of me that misses, because I don't do Facebook anymore either.
Yeah.
Part of
Me
this is
either.
because of the Black Twitter thing, but part of it is also I miss those days when I would get on and I would read my feed and see what people were talking about,
Hmm.
and then I would throw out my little random thoughts and maybe throw out a picture or whatever.
Yeah.
And I miss that. But at the same time, when I try to go back on Facebook, it doesn't feel comfortable. I tried before Eli bought Twitter. I tried like 3 or 4 times to go back to Twitter, and it didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel, it just felt overwhelming. I've tried
Yeah.
like unfollowing a bunch of people so that I could just have a small curated list of people that I followed to see if it felt better, and it just never did. I tried
Hmm.
Threads when it first came out, and it felt like too much. I've even tried doing like the groups on Ravelry and on Goodreads, and none of those felt comfortable. So
That's how
I
I
just
post
don't.
into TikTok, even though I haven't posted in forever. That's how I post into TikTok. I
So
feel like I
I
just throw
don't,
stuff out into the
and
void.
I don't post anything to I've posted like maybe 3 things to TikTok. Because I don't. I'm not a video person. I feel like it's to post a TikTok video. I've got to comb my hair. I've got to put on a bra. I've got to, you know, sit someplace where you don't see the chaos that's out in front of me.
I have
You
done
know,
multiple TikTok videos of me laying in my bed on my pillow.
and I've seen people do that, but that's just not me. If I'm going to be front facing, like this is the neatest section where I could sit and do a video, which means I've got to get up and I've got to come sit in my office chair, and I don't feel like doing all that. I don't feel like trying to learn how to edit anything. So I just don't want to do video because I don't
Mm,
want to learn how to edit anything. But
yeah.
then again, Instagram is all about pictures, but I'm not good at taking pictures. All of my pictures look like crap. I'm
Well, a
not
lot
good.
of people you could use because there are several people who like they use Instagram for posting. What is this? Is that Marceline? Marceline the Vampire Queen? Is that my brother? He is becoming an artist. He has
Well, let
become
me see
art.
it. Oh,
It looks
yes, it
good.
does. Yes, it does look like Adventure Time. Cool, 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 cool. But yeah, and I still, believe it or not, I still have a couple blogs sitting there on Blogger that have not been updated in a minute that I could go back to blogging, but that's not satisfying either because I don't really get anybody because people don't blog anymore. And even if they do blog anymore, people don't really respond to comments on blogs
Yeah.
anymore because now that there's social media, people go to
And just
social
post on there.
media.
Yeah.
And so it's like I want to kind of have the interaction with people, but
That's what I do. So Ronald is asking. He said during a live stream on Kelsey's channel, he asked her how she learned to edit videos. She just said, just download the software and figure it out. That's what I did with my.
I'm not doubting that I have the brain to figure it out. I don't wanna.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
absolutely. It takes a while. I'm just conferring with Ronald that that is how I learned as well. Was I saw
Hmm.
people posting things on TikTok and stuff, and
Yes.
so I waited for someone to at least post what app they're using. Everybody's using CapCut, so that's the one that I use, and I just downloaded it, and I'm like, okay, so this is how you split the videos up. This is how you do a transition. This is how you, and I just that's also something that I like doing is if I get a new app, I want to click all of the things and figure out what all the buttons do. And so
Hmm.
I will like you guys like saw probably real time me doing that here. We're on StreamYard. What does this thing on StreamYard do? What does this thing on StreamYard do? This is how I make the tags. This is how I do the music. That's when we ended up with the coffee background. Is I was like, what are these buttons? Oh, I can put a background on here now. Like I love going into apps and clicking the things and figuring out what they do. Um,
I think once upon a time I did but now I don't. I don't I don't have any, that's not fun for me anymore.
I love doing
So
that. Like if I get a
I
new
just don't
phone,
want to be
going and seeing all the
I
features
just
my phone does.
I just don't want to be bothered. I just want to do the things that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of video of social media or whatever, like I don't want to have to edit a video and make it pretty and all of that kind of stuff. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm not one of these people. I'm not hating on anybody else, but I'm not one of these people who can just pop on a video with a bonnet on and just, with all my mess in the background and talk. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can live with this mess. I am not putting this mess on blast for everybody else to look at.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody was coming over, you would see the Tasmanian devil in me come out as I'm speeding through the house trying to, pick everything up so it looks presentable. I'm not presenting that to the world. I just, it's fine for me, not for everybody else.
I'm now thinking
So,
maybe if I get some time, maybe I will sit down and make some tutorials, some quick shorts tutorials on how to edit videos. At least the basic editing stuff that I know how to do. I can show people how to use CapCut, I think. I'll just like do a screen record and then do some voiceover later and do some. Is that
but
anything anybody's interested in? Ronald, are you interested? Is anybody interested in editing videos? Or Chloe could do that. Chloe went to school for that. Chloe could
yeah,
do
but
that.
Chloe doesn't want to learn new software.
True.
So, so
It's
yeah, I have this urge to kind of, and I think people would say, well, this urge to jump back into social media means that you need to go out and talk to people. No, I don't want to do that. Hush your mouth. I don't want to go out in the world with actual people. I missed that feeling of being online and talking about things and people,
mm-hmm.
responding in the comments to what I said.
That's why I like
But
being in Discord servers. Because if something comes up with crochet, I know I can throw it in our coffee clutch server and people will talk about it. And I know, ooh, speaking of which, I'm going to throw a link in the Discord and I'm also going to throw it in the chat just now. But the project that I was working on that I found out I was a part of, the project that I've been working on, it's called Error 313 and the website is live, the Instagram is live, and so we can show it. Hang on. Let me get the website up.
yeah, I followed them on Instagram when you sent it out before.
Nice. Yeah, we've got the website now, so I will put the website as well. Um, and there's a specific way that we're supposed to be talking about everything, which is why I am speaking this way, because there are things that they're slowly putting everything out to the public.
Mm.
But this is the project that I've been working on. Let me open up Discord, and it's a radio drama. Ooh, and the episodes are going to be released next month is when you'll
Cool.
be able to listen to things. Yes.
Cool.
Let me
Cool. Cool.
go
Cool.
but our website just went live, and so I want to share it with the people.
Okay, so while you're doing all of that stuff, next on my list, just random thought. I like
Same.
books with playlists. This was not a thing that you could do before, like Spotify, Apple Music,
And
all these kind of streaming music services. I remember reading books when I was like in high school or, you know, posts like in my 20s or whatever, and they would sometimes a book would put a list of songs in the front of the book that were referenced throughout the book. Or you would just see a song, they would reference a song in the book, like people they just assume you knew the song. But there was not really a way to go listen to the song because there was no internet. There was, if you happen to have that album or whatever, maybe, or you happen to catch it on the radio, but there was no way to listen to it. So I I just find it interesting now because I just read a book. I can't even remember the title of the book because I didn't write it down in my shower thoughts. But I just read a book about 3 weeks ago where there was a playlist and the whole playlist was in the front of the book. And they didn't say the playlist was on Spotify, but I typed in the title of the book on Spotify and the playlist was there. And
mm,
so just like every time they mentioned the song, I just queued the song
let's click
up
the thing.
to hear
I've
it. I remember the name of the book. The name of the book was Unsteady. It was a hockey romance.
Isaac is saying some of the webtoons that he reads has songs embedded in it. I've seen that too. It definitely caught me off guard on one of them because I started using webtoons the app, and so I was reading like my first web comic on it, and I was like binging this comic, and then I'm like getting to the bottom, and I like have my headphones on, but nothing is playing because I think I had like just finished listening to a podcast and switched to reading webtoons, and I didn't have anything like in the background. I just had them on to like block out outer noise so I could focus on. And I was reading, all of a sudden this music comes in and it starts off really low and it comes in. I'm like, am I losing my mind? I was like, what is? Because I didn't know that they could do that. And so I'm scrolling. I'm like, what is? I'm going through all of my apps and nothing's playing in the apps. And then I like look and I'm able to find that the audio is coming from webtoons. And I was like, oh my gosh, it scared me the first time, but it is so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting just having something like that add to the experience because you're not trying to make it into a full movie or a video or a TV show or whatever, just adding a little bit to the experience of reading the book. So I thought that was cool.
That's very
Um,
cool.
Another thought that I had was, does the existence of Google make you second guess yourself? This
What do
is
you mean by that?
probably, I think this is something that people in your age group and younger would not experience because you have always had the internet and you have always had Google,
Bye,
right?
Ronald.
Ronald's popping off and get some stuff done. Enjoy the rest of your week. Didn't you have a dentist appointment today? Good luck with your dentist appointment.
Ronald
Have a
and
good day,
Isaac are doing
Ronald.
this movement.
Yes, because we were talking about that. Ronald and Isaac both have dentist appointments today. Anyway, um,
We grew up with the
pre-internet.
internet. You didn't. You're
Yes.
questioning your existence. Mhm.
Well, not questioning my existence, but pre-internet. If I felt like I knew something, then I just said it like I knew it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I didn't qualify it with I believe it's this, or if I remember it's that, or if it's blah 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 it's that. I said it like I knew it because nobody um
Nobody could check it.
loves what?
Synopsises.
Synopsises of
Syn-
what? My synapses?
no,
But
continue.
anyway, I said it. I would believe, if I said such and such starred in this movie, nobody would question me because they couldn't look it up,
Hmm.
and so they had to believe that I knew. You
Yeah,
know,
having Google, I think, has definitely created a big actually culture.
yes, yes, because but not only that, I second guess myself. I am hesitant to say like if back again when I was still on like Facebook and stuff. I am hesitant to say this is this XYZ. Period.
Hmm.
because I know somebody can go and double check me. So I double check myself before I if I have a chance to do it, I will double check myself before I say for a fact that this is this. Or like when
Yeah.
I'm sitting with my husband, I will he'll say, "What is da da da?" and I will say, "I believe that it is this, but let me look it up." Because when we sit and watch TV, my laptop is always open in front of me because I'm usually
Hmm.
finishing up my board game arena turns or looking at a pattern or something. So I will just look it up on Google right quick. And
See,
sometimes
you
he throws questions out there because he expects me to look it up.
Wayne
So
also does that to me sometimes. But also, so you qualify your thing of, I think it's this, let me look it up. Something that happens to, as it says, just stop it, I believe. Yeah, I mean, you can. You can just say, I believe, and you don't have to look it up because, I mean, that is the truth. You believe this thing. But a thing that Gilbert and I will do, if Gilbert and I are like watching something or playing a game or something, we'll have a conversation and we'll be like, "Oh, is that Gina Torres?" And then the other one will say like, "I think so," and then like look it up without saying anything, and they're like, "Yeah, it's Gina Torres," and like so not like saying, "Oh, I'll go look it up." We'll just look it
uh-huh.
up.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, you don't have to. Oh yeah, I'll look it up or I'll Google it. It was just like, is that Gina Torres? I think so. It sounds like Gina Torres. Yeah, it says it's Gina Torres.
Yeah, I've done that to your father a couple times where he'll say, "I don't know where I know this person from." And then I'll just go ahead and
You know
look
them
up
from
the
this.
cast of the movie and say, "Oh, well they were in da da da." You
That
know.
the funny thing about that is when Gilbert and I do that, Gilbert will have to because I watch so few mainstream things. I watch just the weirdest stuff, and so Gilbert will like I'll be like, where do I know this person from? And even sometimes he looks up. A lot of times he just has this encyclopedic knowledge of stuff, and so he'll be
Uh-huh.
like, "Well, she was in this." And I'm like, "Nope, haven't seen it." She was in this. Nope, haven't seen it. She was in this. Nope, haven't seen it. And he'll be like, "Okay, so you would probably know her from this." And like, I have seen that one because he'll have to go to the
Yeah,
thing that you think that
see
I've
your
seen.
father is just the opposite. I will look down somebody's IMDb credits and go, "Oh, I know he didn't watch this. I know he didn't watch this. Oh, this is a Hallmark romance. I know he didn't watch this." You
Uh,
know, and going down till I find some sort of big blockbuster action movie and go, "Oh, they were in that. He probably
huh.
saw them in that." And that's the thing that I'll mention. But
Yeah,
sometimes I'm
I'm.
surprised because sometimes I'll look at something and I'll go, "Oh, I don't think you've watched any of these things, so I don't know what you've know him for." And he says, "Just name off some stuff," and I'll start naming off stuff. And occasionally he'll say, "Oh, I saw that one," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"I didn't think you would have watched that one, but okay."
yeah. My favorite one is the thing that I know. Oh, what is his name? Why can I not remember his name? I remember the movie that I know him from, and I think the only movie that I've ever seen him in. Hang on, what is this man's name? Cast Patrick Swayze. I bet you will not be able to guess the only Patrick Swayze movie I've seen. The only thing that I've ever seen Patrick
I
Swayze
don't
in.
know because my thing would be Dirty Dancing, but I know you haven't seen that.
I haven't.
I don't know what Patrick Swayze thing you not Roundhouse.
Nope.
Okay, what is it?
Disney's Tall Tale: An Unbelievable Adventure.
Oh, good lord.
He plays
That
Pecos Bill.
that's believable to me because it, you're a Disney kid, not Disney,
But
but
that's
just like kid stuff. You
yeah, I
still
do like his
watch
stuff.
like animated stuff and kid stuff.
But I saw first of all, that's live action. That is live action. I saw
Hmm.
that when I rented it like a VHS, not a VHS of it. I rented a DVD of it from the library when I lived at home with you guys.
Hmm.
It was like
I believe it.
forever ago.
I
It's so
believe
good.
it. I believe
Yeah,
it.
Patrick Swayze and Roger Aaron Brown. A Disney middle-aged person. I can get out.
Okay, so some of the things I've been watching. Do you have
Yes.
anything that you want to mention that you've been watching, or shall I just plow on?
I have not watched a single thing unless it's YouTube.
Okay, so we've been watching Traders, your father and I. We are now we just watched the second season of the American Traders. It's interesting to see how the different shows are
How they're different.
I mean it's kind of the same show, but they do things slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
The British, there's four of them, by the way. It is there's the American, there's UK, there's Australia, and there's New Zealand. New Zealand is the newest one.
Okay.
For anybody who has never is not familiar with traders, who's never watched it, if you're in the US, it is all four of the different country versions of it are available on the Peacock network. I don't Peacock used to have a free tier. I don't know if Peacock still has a free tier, like free ad supported tier or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still an ad tier because I pay for Peacock and I still get ads.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have an ad free tier. But they used to have a flat out free one. And then they had one where you paid and it wasn't that you got less ads, it's just that you got more stuff, kind of like with Board Game Arena,
Mm-hmm.
where there's extra premium games that you can play if you pay for it as opposed to being free. That's how Peacock used to be. Is that and I would look it up, but the way my internet is acting today, I'm not messing with anything.
Just say I believe
But
and move on.
but they used to have so whatever tier I have right now, I think I have the 7.99 tier, I think. So you still get ads, but you get um access to the more premium ones, like when they have movies that are supposed to be in the theater, but you can watch them on they're
Yeah.
in the theater and on Peacock at the same time. It's weird. But you can only watch that if you've got the paid. Anyway, Peacock, if you want to watch it, if you've never watched Traders before, it's pretty much Mafia or Werewolf, except live action and over the space of like 2 weeks.
It's
It's
or
not like all in one night. It's over the
reminiscent
space of two
of
weeks.
Who Done It.
Yeah, nobody remembers who done it on ABC, but it's reminiscent of that, yes.
I just want them to
Except on
bring it
two Who
back.
Done It, they made them act out their stories.
It was so that was the thing that I liked was they would wake
But
up in the morning and they'd be like, "What happened?" And you go over and you see the man like burnt to a crisp and they did all his special effects makeup. I love that part.
uh
It was so
Who Done It
good.
was good. Who Done It was good. I hate that they didn't bring that back, but Traders is very popular, so I think people like it without the and also the money involved because it's
Yeah.
like it, it's one of those shows in the new model of you start out with no money and then you have to do challenges to get money put in the pot. And there are
Mm-hmm.
things that can take, I don't think anything can take money out of the pot in this game. But there's some reality shows where money can be taken out of the pot, like Too Hot to Handle.
Mm-hmm.
This is just money gets put in the pot depending on how well you do on the challenges. So it's to everybody's benefit to do well on the challenges, to work as a group on the challenges because
Mm-hmm.
that's group money. But the way Traders works is that three people, well, the way they've done it on the second season, it's like two people are picked and then they add a third or a fourth,
Yeah.
something like that, later. But two or three people are picked. It's like a duck, duck, goose. Everybody puts their masks on. The host walks around the table and just taps somebody's shoulder. That means you know you're a trader, but you still don't know who the rest of the traders are till that night. And then you work together to figure out who you're going to eliminate. So everybody assumes that everybody else is a faithful. You don't know which ones are the traders. So the traders are in saying, "Oh, well, I'm a faithful too," but they
Mm-hmm.
might be a traitor. And so if you get to the end, there's usually like four or five people left at the end, and then that's when there's a few more eliminations. It's like you can end the game now if you think you're all faithful, but if not, we can have another elimination. And you do that two or three times. Usually you end up with like either two or three people left before they say, "Oh, we think we're all faithfuls now. We got rid of all the traitors. Now,
Yes.
if one of those people at the end
Is a
turns
traitor,
out,
they take the whole pot.
yes, so like if you get down to three people and one of them is a traitor, but all y'all voted to say that we're all faithful, then the two faithfuls get no money and the traitor gets all the money. And it's usually roughly around 90 to $100,000 that they end up with in the pot by the
The
time
one
they get to the
series
end of
that
it.
we watched with Isaac, and they had three people left, and they're like, "Yes, we totally believe we're all faithfuls." And then the one was a traitor. I'm trying not to be super specific because in case people
Uh-huh.
watch it, but the one was a traitor, and just the looks on their faces, they
Uh-huh.
were furious. And then they went back and had the reunion party, and they're like, "How could you do this to us?" Like, bruh, it was wild.
And yeah. So we've been watching that. The differences are interesting, and the UK one are both in the same castle in Scotland. Okay.
Yes.
But if you go online, you realize they're not staying in the castle,
They're
but
not
they're
staying in the
staying in a
castle.
hotel near the castle,
They're not staying
which
in the.
annoyed me. No, they're not staying in the castle. I thought you knew that.
No, what's the point? But they have their like bedrooms, and they come into the kitchen in the dining room in
They're
the
not staying in
morning.
the castle. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
What's the point of
They're
having
not
the
staying there.
castle?
They're not staying in the castle. At least on the UK one, they make it pretty clear that they're not staying in the castle because the clocks ring at 12. Have you not watched the UK one?
No, we
The
only watched the
clocks
American one.
Okay, the clocks ring at 12 and everybody gets up and you see the cards outside and everybody walking to the cards. So you know they're not staying in the castle, that they are leaving at 12. And even sometimes the host will say, yes, it's 12, everybody's leaving, and the traitors will be back to decide who to murder. So the castle is just a setting, they're not staying there. And also with the UK and the US one, the the challenges are all the same challenges. It's like they set it up for both shows, so we're all doing the same challenges.
They said
Which,
we we got a boat. We're gonna use it for both seasons.
exactly. So it's kind of like yeah, because we watched the second season because I'm trying to get rid of Peacock.
Hmm.
So I said the only thing left on there that we would really want to watch is Traders. So your father's like, okay, let's just zoom through these Traders episodes, and then we'll just cancel Peacock for a few months. So we watched the second season of the American one. We watched the second season of the UK one. Both of those were pretty good. But we are
Hmm.
on the Australian one now, the second season of the
Hmm.
Australian one. The Australian one, they are staying in a hotel. It's a historic hotel, but the
Okay.
hotel is like, yeah, we need the money, so y'all gonna stay here and y'all gonna
You
pay us.
put our name. You put
Put
our
our
name on the
name.
screen.
Yes.
Is it
So
still
they
Alan Cumming?
no, the UK one has their own UK host. All of them have different hosts.
I thought Alan Cumming was for the US and the UK.
No.
He's not
No,
even
because
American. Why is he the host of the US one?
I guess because American people know him, but also because it is filmed. American people know him because he is well known on a
That's
lot of
true.
TV shows in America. But also he is Scottish, and they film in
But if
Scotland.
they're at the
So
same
it's
castle in
easy.
the UK one, why is he not the host of the UK one?
Well, the UK one was first, and so
Oh, okay.
They got Claudia Winkleman, who is a very well known host in the UK. So it
Okay,
makes
okay.
sense that Claudia Winkleman is the host of that one. But also, it's interesting because the um Alan Cumming is like he plays. Yeah, they have the New Zealand one too, which we haven't watched that one yet. We're going to move on to that one next after we finish this second season of Australia. But Alan Cumming is like Claudia Winkleman, she is just herself. Like she cheers for the people
Do I
as they're
remember who
doing
this
the
is?
challenges. She's like, "Come on, hurry up." Like, she's just a genuinely nice person,
I do know who that
and
is.
she cheers for the people as they're trying, cuz just like she does on the baking show and some of the other shows she's done. She really cheers for the people.
I've only
Alan
seen her on one other
Cumming
show.
Alan Cumming does not cheer for anybody.
He does not.
Alan Cumming is like, and also Claudia is just being herself through and through. Alan Cumming is being like an exaggerated version of
He is the
himself.
most like coy, campy gay man. He's like, oh,
Yes,
oh,
he's being
that's tragic, or
which he's
oh,
not
that's
like that.
just
He's
tragic.
not like that in real life, but that's his. He's being like an exaggerated version of
Yes,
himself. And he said, because I read an article, an interview with him, he created a character and bought the clothes and everything. That's not how he normally dresses and stuff. It's just for the show.
but him and his silly little hats.
Uh
That's
huh.
the other reason I'm so mad that
Yes.
he's not the host of any of the other shows. Because
Uh
I
huh.
want to see so much more of him in those silly little hats.
He's very snarky, and when people get eliminated, he's like, "Oh well,"
Yes.
throws their portrait on the floor and stuff. The guy who is the host of the Australian one, he is full on playing a character. He is an actor that is a well-known actor in Australia, but he's full on playing a character like, this is my family's hotel and we have done this and blah blah. He's full on playing, and he's playing it up for comedy because
Okay.
he tells jokes all the time.
Mm.
So it's very comedic with him. He's not rooting for them, but he's not rooting for them. But he's not doing the dark, brooding, oh my goodness, kind of thing. Also, with the Australian version, you can tell that this is a working hotel because the castle, they only get to use certain rooms, but they've
Yeah.
definitely played up the rooms to look like this is made specifically for the show.
Yes.
The hotel in Australia, you can tell that it'll take them about an hour to sweep all that stuff out of there and it's back to being the hotel. Cause like they are in the dining room, like in the morning when they have the dining room, it's all brightly lit and beautiful and everything. And their portraits are on the mantelpiece of the fireplace just propped up. It would take you 10 minutes to take those portraits down.
They say you have
They
this
are
hotel for June. We have someone booked for July 1st.
exactly. They don't have them like, hung up on the wall or nothing. They are propped. So you can take those down in a second.
That is
They have
hilarious.
the traders like in the UK and US ones, they're in like this turret of the castle and it's all dark and
Yes.
creepy and all this other stuff. No, they are sitting in a brightly lit room in, like
Yeah.
it might as well be the corner of the dining room for all we know. They are when they're hanging out outside between missions or whatever, they're in like lawn furniture, sitting out on the lawn. Y'all can move. It's like they just moved this to the side so that you don't see the other guests that are staying in the hotel. I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not mad at it. It's just
That's so funny.
it's funny that you can see that they're not trying to set this spooky ambiance for this show, and the host playing it for comedy adds to it that they're not
Hmm.
trying to be spooky. But they are also way more vicious on this show because I think the Australian one was the first one we actually watched, even though the UK one was before it. We
Hmm.
watched the Australian one first because those episodes fell off a truck before Peacock was a thing and they had them all on Peacock.
Hmm.
We got them when they fell off a truck, so we watched the Australian one first. And the first season of the Australian one, that ends so vicious.
I need to go watch it.
It's
Ooh,
just vicious.
it's
The
12:30.
prey just. Yep, you
I
gotta
gotta go
go.
wake up. Well, I gotta go wake up the boy. It will
But
be.
the
a little while, so you talk to the people.
Yep. But the trader is so vicious on the Australian one, and I can't wait to try it. Ari, yes, you should try it. You should definitely try it. If you like trash, not even trashy reality, but like it definitely it's definitely backstabby. If you want to watch something that's backstabby, this is the show for you. And if you like social deduction games type things, I can't play social deduction games. I'm not very good at playing them, but I can I love watching this show and having them, figure out who is the traitors and all this other stuff and thinking that people are on their side when they're not. Also, the I think in the Australian one, for me, in the Australian one, I feel like the challenges, the only downside for me, which my husband doesn't notice this, but I for me, in the US and the UK one, it feels like it feels like the challenges almost don't mean anything because the challenges are because everybody has to participate in the challenges to get the money. So eh, you don't get that thing of like on other shows, like on Survivor or some other shows, that thing of, well, we want to vote this person off because they didn't really participate as much in the challenges as other people do. And the traders are not going to really sabotage the challenges because they want the money, the pot to get as high as possible. And the challenges in the US and the UK one always seem to follow a certain like a certain pattern where it's like, oh, we can't figure out what to do. Oh, we're not doing very well. Oh, we're not doing very well. And then all of a sudden, halfway through, they kind of figure it out. And then all of a sudden they're doing well. And then it comes down to like the last 15 seconds. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're almost not going to make it. You're almost not going to make it. But then they always make it. So it's like, it's not, whereas the challenges in the the different another difference with the Australian one is that the challenges in the Australian one are they divide the group into two teams, a red team and a blue team. And so they compete against each other in the challenges. And then the team that wins the challenges gets to go into this room and have a chance to try to find a shield that will keep them from being murdered that night by the traitors. Whereas on the UK and the US ones, they've moved to this thing where everybody's one group doing the challenges, but while you're doing the challenge, you that you can like you can go over here and grab this bag and get the money, or you can take a detour and grab this bag and get a shield for yourself. So it's like, are you going to help the group and help get more money by grabbing this bag, or are you going to detour over here and get this shield? And a lot of times people can see you detouring and getting the shield, and it's like, why did you not just help us get the money? And that kind of stuff. Whereas I kind of like the way they do it in the Australian version better, where the shields are in this room and they're in these boxes, and you get a chance to open one box when you go in the room, and there may be a shield in there and there may not be. And you don't tell people when you come out if you got a shield or not. So I like that better because it makes the competitions have more of a reason.
Hmm.
Somebody's going to lose a competition. It's not going to be, oh, it looks like they're going to lose. It looks like they're going to lose. But then at the last minute, they always win. That makes me feel like that clock really wasn't down to the
Doesn't
last 30
matter. Yeah.
seconds. It makes it feel like they put that 30-second clock in there afterwards in editing, that it wasn't really that serious. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But yeah, that's Traders. It's on Peacock. I recommend it if you have Peacock.
Also, I realized I did watch something. Because I was watching it on YouTube, I was not thinking about it as a show. I went and watched the latest season, or the almost latest season, season 17 of Taskmaster, and it was pretty decent. I didn't know any of these comedians, and this is American Taskmaster, not any of the other ones. I didn't know any of these comedians. They
There's an
were,
American Taskmaster.
I mean, not American. This is the UK Taskmaster, not the Australian. There was an American season of Taskmaster where they had Reggie Watts was the Taskmaster, and it just didn't do well. Which I feel like says something bad about us, that like Americans will watch the UK version of Taskmaster, the Australian version of Taskmaster, the New Zealand version of Taskmaster, but when there was an American version, it did not do well.
I think because I think because the Americans who are watching the Australian and UK versions are a niche group that are
Mm-hmm.
watching it. And if you make an American version, then you're trying to get American kind of numbers to watch that. And most Americans don't have that kind of sense of humor to watch a UK thing. They
Yeah,
also don't have, like, we don't have that tradition on TV of watching celebrities compete in a thing just for the
true.
fun of competing in a
Yeah,
thing.
Americans like seeing other Americans win money
Exactly, like your
for something.
father. Your father, the first thing he's like, there's no money. Like he loves to watch, well not loves, but he enjoys watching the great um the great pottery throwdown. I
Hmm.
do not know why he doesn't do pottery. I can't get him to watch any of the other ones that are in the similar vein, like the Great British Baking Show or the Great British Sewing Bee. No interest, but the pottery one, for some reason, he likes. He's even watched the Canadian pottery one. I do not know why he likes the pottery one. But again, it's like there's no money. At least once a
Hmm.
season while we're watching it, he's like, there's no money. There's no money. And he has trouble wrapping his brain around the fact that there's no money. He still
Yeah.
watches it, but there's no money. But if we try to watch another thing with no money, he's like, "There's no money."
No.
That's just a frequent refrain. There's no money. Why
Yeah,
are
it
we
didn't hit
watching
me
this
until
if
you
there's no
said it
money?
just now. There are a lot of UK shows where there are just celebrities doing a competition
Uh huh.
versus
It's
like
not
they that
average
doesn't
people
really
trying to get money. Yeah,
and
it's
that doesn't
celebrities
really
doing it.
happen over here.
Exactly. So it would not, people cannot wrap their brain around it because there's, it's celebrities, it's not civilians trying to get money.
Meanwhile, I
But
would seeing some American celebrities do some Taskmasters, that would be hilarious.
hmm hmm so there is I mean the closest I've seen is there have been a couple shows where they've done some things and it was the money went to charity.
Hmm.
So there was money but it went to charity.
Yeah. So what else you got, Mama?
But okay, so the other thing that I wanted to mention was a TV show called Decoy. It is on Freevee. Okay. It is in black and white. Okay. And I was watching this off of, I can't remember how I ran across it, but I watched several episodes on the, um, oh, what is it? The Internet Archive.
Okay.
And they were not in good condition until
Ooh,
I found that not YouTube, but
freebie.
Amazon had
Oh,
good cleaned up versions. Well, this was before Amazon had Freevee. Amazon has
okay.
moved all their free stuff over to Freevee, but it's still Amazon. But they had good cleaned up versions of the episodes. I was like, oh, now I can watch them and not squint so much. But
Ooh,
I mean, they're not in HD by any means. This is 1950, either 57 or 59. The star is Beverly Garland. If you've ever, you guys are probably still too young, but there was a TV show that was in reruns when I was a kid that I watched a lot called My Three Sons. And she ended up playing the mother, well, the stepmother, because it's like a father with three sons. The mother has died. He's raising these sons all by himself. He finally decides to get married and bring in a stepmother. This is her.
Okay.
But she also you guys are too young to remember, there was a TV show, a good TV show. If I can find it on a streaming service, I will let you know, because I think you might like watching it, Maya. There was a TV show called Scarecrow and Mrs. King that I think I was watching with your father, because it was like late 80s, early 90s, possibly late 80s, definitely before you were born. um and it starred Kate. I can't think of her name, but she was the serious one in the original Charlie's Angels back in the 70s. Because they had like Farrah Fawcett was the sexy one, and they had the other Kate who was, I forgot what she was, but then they had a third one. She's cute. She's not unattractive, but she
Hmm.
wasn't the sexy one like Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah.
She was like the smart one. And she brunette, of course. But then after Charlie's Angels, she went on to do this TV show with, and I think the male lead, I want to say Bruce Boxleitner, but I might not be right. Where he was, she's a regular housewife, okay, and somehow she gets recruited by the CIA, FBI, some sort of,
Okay.
to do undercover stuff, because they need somebody who just looks like,
Who blends
oh,
in?
normal normal woman, right? And Beverly Garland by this time is an older woman, and so she plays the mother of the housewife who does
Okay.
not know what's going on and wonders why her daughter keeps disappearing all over the place. I enjoyed that show, but that was one of the shows that cemented in me that I do not like this trope of I have a secret identity and the people in my life don't know. I feel like at least somebody in your life needs to
Oh,
know
absolutely.
that you are a werewolf superhero witch.
Absolutely. Bruh, that's one of the things that killed me watching friggin' Gem and the holograms is
Mhm.
you are the same person. The thing that I was like furious. You are the same person and you are getting jealous that your boyfriend likes you when you have pink hair versus when you have blonde hair. You are the same person. Like,
That
how can you like Jem over me? Why don't you just go date her? She's a superstar. And then she turns into Jem and she's like, don't talk to me. You have a girlfriend. Like, you're the same. The reason he
Yes,
likes you
you're the
is you're
same.
the same
You're the
person.
same, but I can almost understand that if he can't tell that they're two different people and he's over here macking on the superstar, okay, my boyfriend's cheating on me. Even if he's cheating on me with me, he doesn't know it's me, so he's cheating. I understand that. But like, one of my favorite things, there was a TV show we used to watch called Grimm, and one of my favorite things was when everybody finally figured out that the Grimm guy had superpowers, because I just it just annoys me when one of the major plot points is, oh no, my partner is going to figure out that I have superpowers, or
Like,
I
why
turn
is it
into a
that big of a deal?
werewolf or whatever. I hate that. I want people to know so they understand that they're in danger or
Yeah.
whatever.
That is literally why I stopped watching what is it? The Equalizer with Queen Latifah because I got so stressed out because she was doing all of this stuff and she missed her daughter's like recital or something and her daughter's like you're too busy for me. I don't want to talk to you or whatever. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm so stressed out because you have not told your daughter that you're doing all of this stuff and she thinks that you're just ignoring her.
Okay.
It's
Well,
ruining the
I mean,
relationship.
this is a spoiler, but if it'll get you to finish watching the show, they do find out.
Okay.
So finish watching the show.
Because I liked it. I
Because
love Queen Latifah.
it's a good it's a good show. But if that was the thing that stopped you from watching it, you can continue watching the show.
Okay. Because it was stressing me big time.
Yeah. I get that. I get that. But so anyway, Decoy is a show from 1959. It's either 57 to 59. I would look it up, but my computer. It is it is one of the first shows that had a female police that focused on a female police officer,
Ooh.
and she is in New York. And a lot of the scenes in New York are like real scenes in New York, because this was before they had people signing releases and stuff. So they were just taking, the camera was just, so like all those extra people in the background are just real people who don't know they're about to be on TV.
Ooh.
And excuse me, from what I read, I don't know if this is 100% accurate, because you can't believe everything you read on the internet. But from what I read, this show did not air on the TV stations in New York, which is part of the reason, which some people surmise is part of the reason why it didn't get more than 1 or 2 seasons, because it might have been more popular if it actually aired in New York where it was set.
Why did they
It
not air it in
was,
New
I don't,
York?
who knows, but it was aired in the rest of the country, but not in New York. It had like 39 episodes. I don't know if all 39 are available, because I have purposely not looked ahead to see how many episodes are on the list. I've watched like maybe 20 of them so far. But there are a lot of people, if you watch old TV, there's a lot of people on this show who are like, "Oh, that's the young da da da.
Mm.
That's the young da da da. This must have been their first time ever on TV,"
Mm-hmm.
because they look so young. And it's just, I can't explain to you how much I like this show. It's just because she's always going undercover as somebody. Okay. And so, one time you'll see her working in an office trying to figure out who set something on fire. Next time you'll see her working in a nightclub trying to pretending to be like the hat check girl, trying to get um evidence on the mob boss who works in the hotel. One time she's pretending to be the girlfriend of a high school basketball star to figure out if he's rigging the games.
Okay, so now I
Just,
want to check it out.
it's good. And the episodes are only 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not long at
The
all.
episodes are only 30
Can
minutes.
you download stuff on Freebie, or you have to have internet?
I think you have to have internet. I don't think you
Okay,
can download
then
it.
I'll have to watch it at home, because I was gonna say I could watch them at work, but our Wi-Fi at work is trash. Oh my goodness.
That is I love her hair. I love the clothes she
Mm-hmm.
wears. This I spent a good bit of my young adult life trying to find a wig or get my relaxed hair to do that.
To do that,
Yes. Yes. I need a wig is what I need. I need a wig.
I mean, you could
Decoy.
probably pretty easily find a wig that looks like that now.
Decoy.
The drama.
It is so good. 1957 to 1958. It is so good.
Well,
It
I
is
will
so
go.
good.
I'll go check
I
out a
en-
few episodes, and we can maybe talk about it on the stream.
I enjoy it so much. I love the police hat
Mm.
so much. And it's so weird the way she doesn't have a holster. She throws her gun in her purse. And I'm
You
like,
can, the
girl,
danger.
and then somebody tries to come into the room where she is, and she's fumbling in her purse to get the gun, and it's like, girl,
If you're gonna throw your gun in
you
your purse, there better not be a single other thing in there. You better be
you
able
need
to
a
reach in and grab
holster.
and go.
You need a holster. But I love this show,
She
and
needs
I'm
a
probably
oh, what am I thinking of? In Blackjack Justice. You remember Blackjack Justice, right?
yes.
In Blackjack Justice, Trixie Dixon has a thigh holster. They call it a mousetrap. They call it the mousetrap thigh holster because she has it. It's like, but because she wears the like short mini skirts, and so it's high
Uh-huh.
enough that she can hide it under her like short little mini skirt. And they call it like the mousetrap on the way to the tree or something. because it's like way up there. She's a mousetrap holster is what she needs.
It's just I don't know why I enjoy this show. And which leads me to the side note of I know a lot of people do not like to watch cop shows these days because
Propaganda.
propaganda because the police officers these days are misbehaving. But I I'm sorry. I can watch a police show kind of like I can watch a kind of like I can watch an alien show or I can watch Charmed. I can pretend that yes, in this universe that I'm watching, the police officers are good and they're
And
not
they
going to
all do
hurt
what they're supposed to
and
do,
they
and
all do what they're
everything's
supposed to and
perfectly
they're not
fine.
going to hurt you. I can watch it just like fantasy and just enjoy
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
I know,
Because
and that doesn't stop
procedurals are
me.
just fun to watch. Like police
Exactly.
procedurals are just fun to watch.
I understand that the real police these days are not what they're supposed to be, but I can watch a world where the police are what they're supposed to be. I can watch,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't look, but I hesitate to recommend police type shows because I know a lot of people
Yeah.
feel that way about police shows. But I'm like I don't know. I can just watch it and pretend it's. So I got my. I have one more thing I want to mention, but
Yep.
Isaac just brought this up to me. I have AARP because I'm old,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm leaning in, and I went ahead and renewed it. I wasn't going to renew it. I let it lapse, but then just before it lapsed, I ended up using it for two or three things. Like, um, I got a discount on a bouquet that I had to send to someone for a bereavement.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a free class. They've got free exercise classes, live exercise classes
Ooh.
that I can take online and just some other things that I saw. And I like reading the magazine, so I'm like, well, okay, it's $12 a year. That's not going to hurt me. I'll send you another $12. But I was waiting because if you catch them at just the right time, they have a free gift to get you to come back. And the one and in different wherever depending on where you look at the offer, sometimes they'll have this free gift over here, but at the same time they'll have this free gift over here. So I was waiting for a gift that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the last time I got the packing cubes where it's just basically it's just these little bags that have zippers on them, but it separates your suitcase so that you can
Mm-hmm.
keep your like your toiletries and your underwear separate from all the other stuff in your suitcase. It really helped me when I packed last time for vacation. So I'm glad I got that free gift. This time I wanted a tote bag. I liked it because it looked like denim. So and it just came today. So this is what I got.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, I mean it's real thin. It's not denim. It's like
Oh,
plasticky. It's like
it looks
plasticky
sturdy.
something, but yeah, it'll be sturdy, I'm sure. And I just thought it would be cool to switch up because my bag that I have is um my handles are starting to fall apart on the handbag that I
Mm-hmm.
carry. So I thought this would be neat. And since I was going to re up anyway, I wanted to re up for something that I wanted. So I think this is cute.
Yeah.
So I'll carry
I
this
like
for a
it.
little while. Yep. Oh, it's got pockets on the front too. Yeah. That'll be nice because I can keep my phone separate. I like pockets on the outside of a purse or from the
Mm-hmm.
front of a purse because sometimes stuff on the inside I get mixed up where everything is. Whereas if the pockets are on the outside, it's easier for me to. I know it's a small difference, but it's easier for me to remember where everything is.
Yeah. I got you.
So, so cool. So, last thing I wanted to mention was actually an author that I have been reading, which the author's name is. We have been gone for 3 hours. Are your Instagram people still here, or are they gone?
They are. It's still here. I don't know. I do not know what determines when Instagram gets to stay for the full time versus when they cut out after an hour. I have no clue. So, congrats, Instagram. You got it all today. Well, not all of it. You missed me talking about the lady that I aspire to be in earlier. You want to catch that? Go to YouTube.
Okay, and your brother says Arcane season 2 is coming out soon. I
I
have
still
not
haven't
watched
finished
Arcane.
season. I watched. What did we watch? 2 episodes, I think. We watched 2 episodes of season
I think
one.
I might have watched one episode because Isaac made me watch one episode, like the first
Also,
episode.
is it Arcane on Netflix that I don't have access to anymore
That's true.
because Netflix decided to be Trashzilla?
And that's true. That is so true. Um, so I have been reading. I found this author. First of all, my reading is going annoying right now. I have like 3 books open that like ugh. I don't
Yeah.
like this one and I don't like this one and I don't like this one. I had this I had this one book that was promising,
Mm-hmm.
but because it was a black author and it was like fantasy, well not fantasy, but it had a demon in it. It was like I summoned a demon boyfriend, I think is the name of the book.
Uh huh.
Um but the so far I'm a good 40-50% into it, and the I just don't like the hero or the heroine.
Ooh,
I
hate when that happens.
accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. And the writing is very good. I thought I'm 26% in. I It was promising to me because it's I hardly ever read things that are in like a fantasy or sci-fi realm where the black characters actually sound black and are written.
Mm-hmm.
It is a black author. She has her full face and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times these days, especially with the indie authors, they have just like some sort of icon or logo instead of an actual
Yeah.
author headshot. So I don't know if they're black or white, and then you go to their website and there's still nothing but an icon or a logo. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they're a person of color. And I mean, I'm a person where I read everything. Again, pre-internet reader here. I never knew whether authors were black or white unless they had their headshot on the back of the
In the book.
hardcover.
Yep.
Okay. So I just read whatever looks interesting to me. That has always been my case. But in the year of our Lord 2024, I understand more than I did when I was, 19. And I understand that it benefits these authors if I try to make an effort to read authors of color.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is that a lot of times they're not writing in the genre that I want to read, which is sci-fi romance. There's black authors in sci-fi, but I don't read hard sci-fi. I read sci-fi romance. I want
Mm-hmm.
alien romance, okay? I don't alien arranged marriages and stuff like that. I don't want hard sci-fi. And same thing with fantasy. I don't want hard fantasy. I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That's as close to fantasy as I want to get.
Yeah.
So, but they are so unlikable. She already summoned the guy. She already had smexy times with him. You
Mm-hmm.
should y'all should start softening toward each other at some point. But no, y'all are still
Not you having
yelling
60
at
times and still being like, get out of my face.
yes, still yelling at each other and angry and all this other stuff. And I'm like,
No, thank
and
you.
and her friends are trash. Her friends, and it's like, ugh. I that so I still have that one open, and then I opened another one. What? Because usually I will abandon a book rather than have. I mean, I know nobody's looking at my Goodreads, okay, but the way my Kindle is set is that when I put currently reading, it shows on Goodreads that I'm also currently reading this, and in my imagination, somebody's going to look at my profile page of Goodreads and see like 15 books saying currently reading, which is annoying to me. So if I'm not enjoying a book, I definitely hit abandoned and take it off of the currently reading list. So it doesn't look like, but right now I am actually in the middle of reading like 3 or 4 books because all of them are annoying me.
Ugh.
Okay. The demon book is 26%. And then I'm reading Monster Mishap, which is 29%. And that one is just not jiving with me because it's fantasy, and I
Hmm.
just don't. It's like an ogre. I like urban fantasy. This is my definition of urban fantasy, not the definition that publishing companies use. My definition of urban fantasy is there are ogres and orcs and werewolves and all of those fantasy type things, not
Hmm.
aliens, because that's sci-fi. Fantasy is, like vampires and fae and that kind of stuff. But they are in our modern world. There are cards and computers and all that other stuff,
Hmm.
plus the magic thrown in. You know, I like the story where there is an orc who runs a bakery, and
Isn't
which,
that just magical realism?
no, magical realism is out of the corner of your eye, you think you saw some magic, but you didn't really see magic. Or
Oh,
this kind of magic, but you can't pin down whether it's magic. Like, have you ever watched the TV show The Good Witch?
yes. And the movie, I saw the
That
movie and I saw the, okay, where it's like, oh, she did it, but did she really? But like, it
yeah,
could have
that's
been.
to me that's magical realism. Where things have a little sprinkle of what could be magic, but they're not coming out straight and saying it's magic. She's not putting the witch hat on and having the cauldron, you
like
know.
in like
Or
in
or
what's it called, like in sitcoms where they always have the Santa Claus episode of, wait, but if you weren't in the Santa costume and you weren't in the Santa costume, and then they
mhm.
show a wisp of snow going out the window.
Exactly. That's magical realism. That's magical realism.
I feel like every sitcom has that episode and it cracks me up every time.
Exactly. That's magical realism. But this monster mishaps that I'm reading is just very much it's fantasy. There's dirt roads and no cars and no computers and no it's just and the character is so sad because her parents are trash.
I just wanted Orc
And
typing on his iPhone.
so that one, but I may go back to it because I may want to fit. It's like I don't dislike these books enough to completely quit them, but they're just not hitting they're not hitting my buttons right now. And
Hmm.
I am 75% through Awakened by the Air, which I started that this morning. So that
I
tells you
don't
how
like
short
that
that is.
title.
That, huh?
I don't like that title. Continue.
What, Awakened by the Air?
Yes, it's weird.
What's weird about it?
I don't know. It's weird. It sounds weird.
Air, Heir, not AIR.
Oh, I thought you meant air, like the O2 that is floating
No,
around me.
HEIR.
Oh, okay. That's better.
And
That's
it's
much
a
better.
story. The premise is interesting to me because it's like an alien thing where on the alien planet, the royal family has special powers or something that ties them into the weather of the planet. So, like if the king is in a bad mood, it's raining all the time.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's also tied into like the pregnancies of the royal family. So like if the royal couple are in love, then that starts to slow the rain down. If they have a baby, then the planet gets to have a sun season and the planet is in balance.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, this guy became became the king at 16 because his whole family went on a vacation, but he didn't go because he's the heir, so you can't put the heir in danger where he might die. Well, the rest of the
The whole
family
family
died.
died.
The whole
Okay.
family died, and he was back at the castle. So of course that the queen was pregnant, which was keeping the planet in balance with sun and everything. Well, they all died, including the 13-year-old brother who was helping to keep the planet in balance by being 13 years old. So the planet has been raining for 10 years on this planet. There's
Okay.
been no sun because the
This poor
the
orphan king.
the poor orphan king not only has been mourning, but also he does not have a mate to make it to bring the son. And at first everybody was like, well, he's only 16 and his family just died. We're not going to push him. But now he's 26. We've had rain for 10 years. You need to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So like I like the premise,
Yeah, that sounds
but
interesting.
it started out good in the beginning, and then at some point it became a book that feels like a middle schooler is writing it. The writing is just not, the writing in the beginning was better than the writing through the rest of it. That's why I was
Hmm.
able to speed through the 75% because the rest of the writing is just not, you know, we will get the man who has threatened you. You do not need to worry. He you will be safe. Come
Okay.
my love, you will be safe. It's just not it the writing's not good.
Yeah.
The writing's not good. But I'm gonna finish it because I'm 75%, and I
You might
want to
as well wrap
see.
it up.
I
And
might
you're
as well
not
wrap it
liking
up
any of the other books.
and see what happens with the story. But I'm like, and all of this is because the author SC Principal. It might be Principale because it ends with an E, and it makes me want to say Principale, but it
Hmm.
might be just Principal. They. I'm gonna say they because I don't know if this is a he or a she
Hmm.
because there's no picture as usual and just an icon. Um, they have written two series that I enjoy, and both series don't have another book coming out until the middle of July, and
Ooh.
I am frustrated. They have one series called The Pine Ridge. That's what I really meant to talk about. I went off on a tangent about all these books I hate. SC Principale. They have the Pine Ridge universe, which is exactly what I was saying, which is the modern world, but there are monsters and things, but because humans have not lived side by side with them for centuries, modern humans can't see the monsters. The monsters are right
Okay.
in front of you, but you can't see them unless something happens to like shock your system to make you see it.
So is it like Unsleeping City where if I'm looking at a centaur, I see a lady riding a horse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Unless something shocks you into seeing them or you fall in love with one of the the people. Because it is a romance.
I love how romances are like, we have a problem, and the only way to solve this problem is you fall in love.
Love.
You have to mate with this
Love.
person before this thing can be solved. There is this issue, and
Love.
it's only solved by love and mating.
Love. That's all I read.
It's so silly.
But Pine Ridge University, they're like, it's a small town. It's a college town because they have a campus of New York University, NYU, Pine Ridge.
Hmm.
And so they have the college students there. And it's just a very interesting setup. And it's villains who
You
really
are
get
going all
a
robotic.
harsh, like, I know. Am I back now?
Yes, you're back now. Continue. A
Am I
harsh
back
what?
now?
Yes, you're back.
Okay. There's always villains who get a harsh comeuppance. Like the first book that I read in the series, I think, was rich, this poor little rich girl, as they call them. Family has money, but she's not happy. That's called the poor little rich girl.
Hmm.
Um, where she went to school for like accounting or something, but she doesn't want to be an accountant. Her father wants her to go into business. She really wants to be a baker because that's her passion. So he
Yep.
cuts her off thinking, it's like, she went ahead and got her degree, her business degree, thinking that her father was going to, they made an agreement. I get my business degree and then I can go to culinary school and then I can open my own bakery and I have the business smarts behind it to
Hmm.
handle the accounting and everything. So she did what he wanted, and then he's like, "No, I'm
And
not
then
gonna
he
pay for you.
didn't.
I'm not gonna pay for you." So she, in a fit of pique, just moves out. And turns out her mother had left her all this money, but because she had been depressed when the mother died, he had slipped the paper under her nose and had her sign that money over. And yeah,
The
the people,
devil.
it's like, it's a good combination of the stories are light. Well, now light's not a good word. The stories are happy.
Hmm.
Okay. The stories are fluffy, but the villains are villains.
Hmm.
And the villains get a good comeuppance. The villains get a
Yeah.
good smackdown.
And they're not
It's
like
not,
a complicated villain, from what it sounds
yeah.
like, where it's like, oh, he stole the money, but he like has his own trauma that he's dealing with. It's like, no, he's just a bad
Mm-mm.
man.
No, he's just a bad man. It's not like, it's not any kind of, oh, but at the same time it doesn't feel cartoonish, because sometimes bad people in books, they're just so one dimensional that it
Mm.
feels like a cartoon villain twirling a mustache. No,
Yes.
he's a jerk, but he looks like a jerk that you would know in real life.
Yeah.
And he's just a jerk. There's no reason for you to feel sorry for him. There's no reason for you to sympathize with him. He's just a realistic jerk, and you feel real good when he gets the smackdown.
Hmm.
So I like those books, and there's always a different, like, monster. There's a vampire, or there's an orc, or there's a minotaur. And you get to see glimpses of them in the other books because it's all in this same town. It's very
Okay.
nice. I like this series. Very good. The only downside between this series and the other series is that SC Principale believes in putting a lot of sex on page.
Whoop.
And a
No
lot of
closed
people,
doors.
no closed doors. A lot of people like that. I am not a prude, but at the same time, it's like division. If I want to read smut, I want my smut to be in a book with very little
Story around it.
story. This is, just give me a little bit of a setup and here's my smut. Good. If you start giving me a story with, you know, a bakery she's trying to open and a bad father where we're trying to get the money back from him, and you
Like, get your
know,
pants back on, girl. You gotta make cookies.
I can't hear you.
Oh, did it break up?
I
Are
can't
we?
hear you. Get your what?
I say, if
Okay, yeah,
you're
you
reading a
back?
book and there's something about the bakery, it's like, get your pants back on, girl. You got to make cookies. You need muffins that need to be put out in the morning.
Exactly. Exactly. So again, I don't mind there being smexy times in my book, but I want, if there's an interesting story that I want to follow, give me like two open door scenes max. You can continue to tell me that they're doing it, but close the door for the rest of the time. Just
Hmm.
lead me, give me a scene where it's like, oh, they headed to the bedroom, blah, 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 and delights were had, and then move on to the rest of the story.
And the lights were had.
Yes, there is one of my favorite, my favorite time travel series.
Yes.
That's what she does. She leads
It's
them
the
to the
lights were
door.
had.
You may hear about them taking their clothes off, and then delights were had.
That's
And that's all I
hilarious.
need. I just want you to show that they're sexually attracted to each other. I don't, because
Hmm.
I'm past these books, because I used to read inspirational romance, which is, just the publishing name for Christian romance.
Hmm.
And those books were fine, but they like to pretend that the hero does not notice that she's got a cute butt, does not, you know, does not have
Hmm.
any body parts rise when he looks at her, does not anything. They don't even kiss. Okay.
Ooh.
And sometimes that's okay. But a lot of times it's like, I want a little bit more than that. I want you to pretend that you are physically attracted to this person. But then I
Hmm.
don't need to see the results of that repeatedly on page. If
Yeah.
you give it to me the first time, I understand, okay, that part fits in that part. Okay, we don't have a problem. They're working together. The rest of it can just be because sometimes these stories are like the 7 foot tall orc
She's
and the
human,
5 foot
he's an alien.
and
Will it
and
work?
will it fit? Yeah, exactly. Human alien. What's he gonna do with that tail?
Ugh,
Just show me lots of tails in the alien books.
wild.
Don't just tell me once, and then the rest of the time the lights were had. That's all I need. So SC Principale, lots of on page, but I'm a big girl. I know how to skim. So I just skim past those and get back to the story. And the story is worth it. It's worth me skimming over the 4 to 6 open door scenes in these
Is
books.
there an industry for someone who goes through these romance books and like I find a romance book and I just everything that are the delights that were had and just highlight it in red and then you can just skip ahead if you don't want to read it? Can that be my job? Can I make money from this?
You're so silly.
I'll make an
But
app.
honestly there is I don't know if they're still in business, but there was like I don't know if they were Christian necessarily, but there was a company that would take movies, well-known movies, and edit them so that because like back in the day when movies came on regular TV, this stuff would be edited out, or
Mhm.
if somebody said damn, it would be beep, you would just hear beep, or just like a you know, empty air space or whatever. But these
Yeah.
days, practically nothing is
You
edited
just
on
put the whole
regular
thing.
TV.
Yeah.
Very little is edited on regular TV. I can't remember the last time I watched anything where words were edited. So there are shows where um
Is that my
why are
brother?
you handing me webtoons? Why?
Oh, so that you can read webtoons because you talk about all these that what you call is not magical realism, but is actually magical realism. There are a lot of webtoons with that, like a lot.
hmm
I was
Your
just
your
thinking that I was gonna tell you about it after the stream, but
your brother grabbed my iPad to bring me a webtoon.
okay.
But so I finished the Pine Ridge series. I think there's another book that's supposed to be coming out next month, so I'm waiting for that one. So I moved on to the other series. They also have some contemporary romances, but I don't read contemporary because I don't that's just real life.
Hmm.
Unless it's a billionaire or a rock star movie star type thing
Yeah.
where one of the people has lots of money and can rescue you from your problems.
Hmm.
That's close to magic for me, so I'll read that. But just regular, you know, he just moved in, he teaches at the high school and she runs the bakery. I don't care,
Yeah.
you know. A reality show one, if like they're contestants on a reality show, those are fun sometimes. But generally, there's nothing in a contemporary romance that interests me. There has to be some special
Some gimmick.
thing to it, some gimmick. Yeah, there has to be a gimmick. No, I don't just want K dramas, or else I would just watch K dramas. And plus, we're talking about reading, not watching. But so SC Prince Valley has another series that I also am enjoying, which is called the Felix. Oh, what's it called? I'm opening my. It's called like the Felix something.
The Felix Diaries.
No,
The
it's
Felix
it's a. It,
Files.
I can't.
The Felix Chronicles.
Lord, no. Okay, it is the Felix Orbis Galaxy. I knew it was some sort
I
of
was
galaxy.
never gonna guess that.
No, the Felix Orbis Galaxy. And I really enjoy the world that they created in this galaxy because basically, in a distant future, multiple galaxies full of intelligent mammalian life forms have been discovered. Isolated from humans for most of a decade due to a raging virus that targeted healthy females, the Felix Orbis galaxy is just beginning to interact with their neighboring worlds again. So basically, what was very interesting to me about this is that this is like, it doesn't say specifically what year it is, but it's somewhere I think around the year 3100.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like far into the future. Okay. Humans have not only messed up Earth, which they
Mm-hmm.
call, what do they call it?
Primus one.
No, it's something, it's another word that means Earth.
Terra.
Something like Terra, but not Terra. It's
Terra Prime.
but they're numbered. So it's like,
Terra one.
where is it?
Terra Alpha.
Sapien. I knew it was something that either meant Earth or human. Sapien means human. Homo sapien.
Yes, I know. But you originally said something that meant Earth, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know. But it was in that realm. Okay, so they already messed up Earth, which is Sapien 1. They are
mm-hmm.
on to Sapien 3 at this point
Wild. How do we mess it up
because
three times?
big, and there's still people living on Sapien 1, but it is hard going. They refuse to leave because they're scared to go into outer space and deal with aliens. So they're still on Sapien 1. The story doesn't mention Sapien 1 other to say that there are still people on Sapien 1, pretty much dying of diseases because they don't want to leave. They overcrowded Sapien 1, totally overcrowded and trashed Sapien 2. So now the majority of the government or whatever, it's like the government has abandoned Sapien 1 and 2 and y'all are left to your own devices. So everybody's on Sapien 3, and
We need a new
Sapien 3
government. They did it twice.
Sapien 3 is overcrowded and crappy. Okay, where people have never seen trees. It's just like, it's bad. And so humans, uh, your whole existence as a human is to sell yourself into a contract. And you start selling yourself into contracts at age 14. Okay, that's
Wild.
when you are considered old enough to work. And you sell yourself, and it doesn't matter whatever kind of contract it is, you're just trying to make enough to survive. Okay. And there are contracts for like the pleasure lands, which are exactly what you think they
I
sound like.
hate the sound of that.
There are contracts where you can just like be a cleaner or whatever. Most people
uh,
try to get a contract that take them off of Sapien, but those contracts are very hard to get because the aliens on the other planets don't really associate with Sapien because
they
they
don't want us
figure
because we
they
messed it
figure
up.
they figure humans are stupid because we're sitting here on our third planet and mess stuff up,
I mean, it
and
sounds like we are.
and we and we and that's why this series is so interesting to me because I just love the whole setup of it, and the writing is good. Still too much sex, but the writing is good. But the whole setup is really interesting to me, even more so than the Pine Ridge universe. But they consider humans are stupid because humans will sell themselves to anybody just to get some money. So that's how the aliens look at it. They don't, but they never come to Sapien, so they don't realize. Like they make their contracts through the universe wide internet,
Mm-hmm.
and then the human will get on a transport and go to them. They ain't coming to us unless they want to come to the pleasure land, though. Pleasure
Time
lands.
out. Side notes. One, Isaac says that his drama start
No.
out as manhwas, and that everything that you are describing is in a manhwa. So you should try reading some manhwas. Also, Zac Efron's brother is going to be on the third season of Traitors.
Are there aliens in manhwas? Are there ogres in manhwas? If there's aliens and ogres, then I will try one. But I haven't seen aliens or ogres in K dramas. Okay, I'm not surprised that Zach Efron's brother is going to be on Traders, because that's the other thing I didn't mention when I was talking about Traders. The American Traders, they pretty much just do like reality show people.
Mm-hmm.
And the other traders do um the other traders do like civilians.
Okay.
Like the British one did all civilians. The Australian one did all civilians, but the second season of the Australian one, they're doing a half and half mix where some of them are actors and reality show people, but most of them are um civilians. So it's a mix. But yeah, the American one is just straight up, and it gives it a different flavor when it is
All reality show
all
stars.
reality show people, because because they don't
They know the
like,
games. They know the way that you talk to people and you
yeah.
play people. Yeah.
Yeah, they know that they have more of a feeling of, yes, this is a game.
Yeah.
Because like the second season of the American Traders was like a bunch of people from Survivor
Mm-hmm.
and the challenge that
Mm.
used to be the challenge, Road Rules slash the challenge from MTV, which they bring back the same people season after season. It's like their job to just compete against
To be
each
on
other
that
and try to
show.
win the money. So they are used to doing this kind of thing. So they play it as the game, whereas when you watch civilians play traders, they really feel betrayed that you lied to them.
Yes.
They start to take it personally, as opposed to remembering this is a game and
That's
I'm
what they're
saying
supposed to do.
what?
Is
Take it
lie.
personally?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is they take it personally instead of remembering that is what that
This
person
is a
is
game.
supposed to do. They are
Uh-huh.
here. They were chosen to be a traitor. They are supposed to lie to you.
Yeah, it's not like they are a liar in real life. It's like this is what they were chosen to do, so they're trying to play their role so that they can win because it's a game.
Yeah,
But a
getting
lot of
upset that you
people,
lost is one thing, but getting upset that they played the game and played it well, that's like, how dare
uh-huh,
you beat me at Mario Kart? You're a terrible person.
exactly, exactly. And when you watch the American one, they have it down pat that this is just a game.
Yeah.
So
They were
that's,
still mad
but
though.
that's a
They were
different.
still mad.
Oh yeah, they're still mad. That's a different level of portrayal. Because if you watch what happens in the finale of the second season of the US one,
I need to go. Maybe I'll do that. I'll hop on Team Cock and
even if
watch
it
some traders.
is a game, they didn't have to do that.
Mm.
And that's all I'm gonna say. They didn't have to do that. Because as your father said, that was just greedy. Because they didn't have to do that. That was just greedy. So yeah. But anyway, the the other aliens, except for coming to the pleasure lands, really don't come to Sapien 3. So they don't really know anything about Sapiens and what they really are. All they know is from dealing with them to get contracts. So they think that we are all greedy and stupid and
Hmm.
trying to do whatever we can to get money. They don't realize that the living
That's the only way to
conditions,
survive.
exactly, they don't realize that the living conditions on Sapien 3 are so bad. There is one, the last book that I just read was these 14 three of these 14-year-olds sold their contracts to basically big pharma, and so that they could be tested, so all the drugs could be tested on them. They like to get the 14-year-olds because they're young and fresh and their bodies are not contaminated yet, and they test people till they are used up,
Hate
and then
it
there's nowhere else, there's no other job for them.
because
And I
they can't
forgot
do anything because they got messed up by all the drugs.
exactly. And I forgot what happens to the people. I can't remember if they go to the pleasure lands or whatever, but it's, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And so so the romance part of it is these people, there's somebody on Sapien 3 who is, because what happens is there are different planets. There's several cat races where they look like cats, but they stand on 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
They I'm trying to get the cover up. That was that was one of them I read.
Okay.
And that's the one where they got sold to Big Pharma. And this is my favorite cover. Let me see if I can get it up. This is the most recent one that I read, where this plan, and there's different races of the cat people.
Of course there are.
So like these are the Lynxians.
Mm-hmm.
They live out in like the hinterlands on the very edge um of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like the old west. They're like the American old west.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are like the tigerites who live on farms, and they don't have what are called prides, where they have living groups and stuff like that. They tend to live isolated to themselves. They're a little bit introverted, antisocial. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got the leopids or the leopardines or is it the felids, the felixes? I forget. They're kind of snotty, and they believe in the purity of their race or whatever. But anyway, all of these races. There's also like um the canid planets, which are all dog
Dog
planets.
people, I'm assuming, yeah.
Yes. So the um and like they don't even believe, a lot of them don't even believe in intermixing yarn chicken,
Well, I was gonna do another row, but I guess this is gonna be a small bandana.
a baby bandana. But they, what am I trying to say? Like even they, like the Lynxian, like the Lepidines don't believe in marrying. Some of the cat races don't believe in marrying the other cat races,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them, like the Lynxians, are like, we don't care. If you're a good person, we don't care, because they're out
Mm-hmm.
in the hinterlands. But anyway, there is a virus that comes around because the females of the cat races go into heat in order to be able to get pregnant. And this virus comes around that when they go into heat, it either kills them, or
Mm-hmm.
it what was it? The virus kills them once they go into heat. So to prevent them from going into heat, when the girls get up around 13 or 14, they figured out, before they found the vaccine, they figured out if you sterilize them. So now there are some females, but they can't have babies. So either
Okay.
you've got, so this virus has been going on for about 6 or 7 years. So not
Uh-huh.
long enough that everybody doesn't remember the before times, just long enough that a lot of women have died. And so now these cat people are all of a sudden, you know what, we need to branch out.
Our
If
people are fading.
if I find a cat lady from another race that I like, I can't afford to be snooty because our people are fading. If I want to marry a dog lady, I need to stop being fussy because our people are dying. Because at the start of the second or the third book, the disease, they thought they had it under control. And so they started opening up, basically, quarantine started to be over, and they
Yes.
started opening up the world again. And then the dog planets started getting it. The dog planets didn't have it at all. And the dog
E.
planets started getting it. So they had to start shutting stuff down again until they jiggered the
Locked it up.
vaccine.
Yeah.
Well, they had to
So
jigger the vaccine to make it sort of work with the dog
work for the
people.
dog people. Okay.
So it worked for the dog people. Now the humans, we're totally immune.
Of course we are.
It doesn't affect us because we
We
don't
couldn't
have
have a romance otherwise.
we don't have heats, so it doesn't affect us. So we
Mm.
don't get the disease, right? So, but also we are not compatible as we can't have the babies of any of the cat people or dog people,
Okay.
right? But there's this on in the first book, there's this one doctor because they've been isolated on their ship for so long. He ain't got nothing else to do. He
Uh-huh.
figured out how to make
How to make
make
people
his
compatible?
how to make people compatible. So but he didn't have anybody to try it on. But then this evil guy who was trafficking people off of Sapien 3 decided to. Oh, so you're telling me to shut?
We're done. We're done with. We got the compatibility. We're done. We're done for the day.
But it's an interesting world.
It sounds interesting.
If you're
I
interested
literally
to read it and skim past all the sex, the story is really good.
Yeah, I do. It was literally because I just checked the clock and it's like, oh, I gotta go get them to get ready to go to work.
You got things to do.
This has been the Wednesday Coffee Klatsch. I have been Artemis. This has been my mother, Dani. If you liked all of the things that we were talking about today and want to see more, press subscribe. If you like particularly this video, press like. If you want to know when we go live and get a little notification so you can be there for all of the things, hit the subscribe or hit the notification bell. If you're on Instagram, I have a link in my little description to go to the YouTube so that you can see all the things on the YouTube, because Instagram, you caught it all today, I guess. You won't catch it all every time because who knows when it cuts off. And as for comments, someone figure out a way in the comments to tell my mother that she really just wants to read furry fan fiction, because that's what this is. We're out of here. Bye.
Peace out.
And the stream.